Welcome back to Dark Skies. This is Series 7. This is technically the first session of it, titled Tainted Sands. In the prologue, the group had a couple of different jobs that they had option to. The funny part about the name of last session was Mystery Truck, which was hilarious to me because every single job that they had on their list would eventually have resulted in a truck that they didn't know much about. The truck for the one that they chose is a garbage truck. Um, so there are some pretty bad actors in Santo Domingo. Of course, there are. It's Night City, but some especially bad ones, especially for trade in and around the southern portion of Night City. And that, so much to say, is that they are trafficking in black lace that is pretty fucked up shit. It's not right. It's lace is a synth drug anyways, but it's like they're just whatever recipe they're using is not good and is not beneficial. But um, it seems that some people are willing to risk it if the batch is bad. Um, but some people want the problem dealt with, and that's where Zigzag comes in. The job was from Anika's docket, and he is clearing out her backlog of jobs, and she is currently in um, psychiatric care, I guess would be the best way to describe her current situation, having died and been brought back to life, in theory. Um, that said, in that prep time at the beginning, some people were dealing with therapy from cybernetics that they had shoved into their bodies, while other people were doing job shit. Zigzag and Stryker drove out to the Sunset Hotel out on the, I believe it's Highway 19, and we're taking in some reconnaissance. They've put in a camera in one of the hotel rooms, apparently one that's not associated with their special deals. Whatever it is that they traffic in at the hotel. Um, Probably, bad stuff. Again, since we just started, there's a lot of things that are triggering in this. I apologize to the players if I say something that is bad. I will go back on pretty much anything, and I'll make sure that the game's. I don't want anybody to think that I'm just forcing a. It's Night City. Night City's weird, man. Anywho, at the end of last session, I had mentioned that Zigzag and Stryker's recordings appear to have shown that garbage trucks are leaving the dump full, which isn't normal, and the ones that are full are not leaving and entering Night City again. They're instead heading on the 19 east out of the city proper and presumably into the Badlands. With that being said, you kind of have an idea of the timing. You probably could cut off the next one, which would be in 2 days. If you were going to try it, the time of day precisely fluctuated with the two that you saw, but not greatly. It was all kind of relatively mid-morning. Like one was at 9 and one was like 10:30. But yeah, it's not like a specific time. They're not like, you know, that scheduled, I guess is the best way to say it. But yeah, Zigzag, the information that you gained from, some recon regarding the drug substance that you acquired was also beneficial knowledge, yours to pass out if you so please. Position-wise, you're back at the office, getting the data pretty much consistently from a sat feed. So it's up to you what you want to do moving forward.
I we were just kind of monitoring the feed to look for patterns. I guess that was
That
it
was it.
until we got done with the therapy. I don't know
Yeah.
if we had any other options.
So, like I said last session, this was on day 6 that you kind of
Yeah.
saw the rhythm. Um, Sugar will be out of therapy tomorrow, as will Icarus.
Yeah, I think my plan is to wait until tomorrow morning and then text everyone together at the office.
Okay. Now, I guess what I want from you, and this is just trying to give you an idea of mindset, really. You have an idea of what we're looking at, right? Like the concept isn't vague to you.
What do you mean?
You know what you're looking at, like the job ahead of you. You kind of have an idea of what we're looking at, right?
Kind of.
So our goal is to find the place that is making the drug and stop it.
Right.
Your source for that right now are these green trucks that are full and leaving.
Mhm.
What do we need to do to be able
Yeah.
to get the goal done with the information that we have?
We either need to. I mean, we need to track one of these green trucks
Okay.
past wherever it goes.
So, I have a question.
Hmm.
Can we, like, as we're having this, like, strategic conversation about, like, what do we do next and who's, like, going where, and is it possible to have that conversation, like, with us meeting Chad? Because I think, does everyone
So,
already know Striga?
That's what I was leading to. Striga's not here yet.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
and Chad, I see you on the side. No one's been introduced to you because you haven't met them yet. Some of them you know from the Patreon game. Some of them not so much yet. We'll get to that. What I was trying to lead Zach into was saying what his plan was and what he needs for that plan. If your plan is to go find the truck, knock the truck off the road, figure out a way to interrogate the drivers into leading you back to the drug site, and then blowing that shit up, what do you need more than anything to be able to initiate that plan?
Yeah, we need another gun. Someone
For sure.
to knock the fucking thing off the road.
If you want to follow the truck to its terminus and see what's going on there, that's a bit more of a drive situation, and you don't even know if you're capable of keeping up with the truck because they have pretty solid amounts of gas for long haul drives, whereas so does Calvin's truck, but I mean you definitely have to come prepared for that. And then other options exist. The two clear ones to me for what we have so far are those.
And that my plan was to pull everyone together tomorrow morning and include Striga in that conversation because we don't have Crystal to reference, and that was going to be my lead-in to pull Striga into their group. Was going to be like, everybody's here now. You don't know them. They are here to be the guns and the operative who's going to talk tactically, and like that was my plan. And then like, here's the situation: we have this truck.
Well,
in my mind, we can either track it down or we can try and capture it and fucking
let's initiate on that. What we'll do is the scene sets. So Sugar, you're done with therapy. Icarus, you're done with therapy. All of your humanity loss has kind of gone away. Calvin, you are aware that Daddy is sending a pretty good team of 6 individuals on up to Santa Cruz for that gig. He's not going himself, but he's pretty sure it's going to get handled, and with the names that he drops, you are also certain that's the case as well. Schraker, your niece is currently in safe hands with Anna, and there shouldn't be any issues with that for the time being. She hasn't left Night City yet, like she said she was going to. She is laying very low because Blue Eyes is still an unknown quantity. Sugar, you haven't had any conversations with your so make sure I have this relationship right. It's roommate or significant other?
Best friend roommate.
Best friend roommate. Okay. Well, you haven't really confronted her about what you've learned regarding what you've learned, and everything at home's fine. So much to say with obvious complications in the future, I guess, maybe. But you arrive at the office the morning of, feeling very chipper compared to the last week, what with everything, having your eyes ripped out and all. Icarus, you've pretty much been staying at the office anyways, kind of acting as a functionary bodyguard in the time that you've kind of been here, because there's really nothing else for you in Night City. I would say, with the exception of what you've done, though, have you gone out and done anything at all? Just in your mind, like, have you been going to bars or clubs or anything, or no?
I feel like you would kind of do some exploring a bit. Not too far.
Okay.
But
Japantown's pretty nice compared to what you've heard about Night City. There's really not much, to it other than you do notice that there is pretty strong gang affiliation with a group known as the Tiger Claws around the area that kind of have a pretty strong hold in the region. Zigzag. I would assume the night before, day of, you're going to send some sort of correspondence to Striga. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
it'll be, I'm sure, a simple text. I'm sure they are short and to the point. I have a job. Be there free tomorrow.
Yep. So kind of flashing into the scene, I would assume everyone's there, and Striga would enter. If you'd like, chat, go ahead and describe Striga to the group. I think some of them know. Striga? Chad, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, Striga is like a G.I. Joe. Like just a very nondescript, like vanilla looking soldier. Yeah, soldier. Like, nothing significant about them. They don't have like an eye patch or like a scar across their cheek. They are just head to toe, like flak equipment. They might wear like a black trench coat to like sort of, if they need to be a little nondescript about it, but Striga is pretty much always dressed and ready to work. Talks very little. When when they do talk, their voice is sort of garbled by like a voice modulator that makes it hard to tell if they're male or female. Yeah, so Striga's pronouns are they, them, and the general gist from what you've been able to gather from other people you might know who are acquaintances of Striga is that basically the fewer questions you ask Striga about themselves and who they are, the better. Striga's all about the job.
And Sugar, but we'll go ahead and Gijo, go ahead and describe Sugar for us.
Did they meet at that job, at the patron job? Okay. Sugar is about 5 foot and change, with her colorful, like sapphic flag colored haircut. And in this image, she's wearing her goggles, but recently she's had cyber implants put into her eyes that allow her to perceive virtuality without the goggles, and so she's not wearing them. She is usually not dressed ready for combat. She tries to stay out of combat as much as possible, looking to support the group more in a net running capacity if possible. She does have her magenta pink goodnight meow meow branded pistol, however, in case there's trouble.
Okay. And you would know, Sugar would know Zigzag through jobs. Real quick, historical kind of positioning here. It is known to you, Zigzag, that Striga is X, but this is a very large quotation marks, ex-Militech operative. They are not technically employed, but you know how Militech kind of operates. Like, they put money into someone,
She's never really out of the contract.
Yeah, it's never over.
Of course.
But Striga, you've worked with Zigzag in the past. Zigzag and Anika have always been a pair. Anika, you've heard, had gone missing, and that was that job that we did for the Patreon game. You would know that they kind of operate as a pair. Anika acts as kind of like the clean-handed fixer and does like the jobs that are not like super dirty, whereas Zigzag deals with like the jobs that cause a lot of death and blood and destruction. So that's why you worked with Zigzag a lot more than you'd ever work with Anika, because you're a Wetworks operative. But yeah, Zigzag, go ahead and give us a short description there of your look this morning.
we have fun. We have fun here. Zigzag, the best way to describe him, I think, is flamboyant. Slight nods of approval. I appreciate that. He's very extroverted. The picture is a great kind of physical description of his look, but usually flashy suits, the hair is flashy, the eyes change colors. He's usually got his signature Malorian arms somewhere on him, but not always visible. And he's known for being a heavy smoker.
There are a couple new faces to the group for you, Striga. The first one is one you know from reputation, but have never met. An individual named, to your knowledge, Stryker. And the reason why you've heard of Stryker is because he has a bit of a reputation on the south side with the Valentinos, and you kind of operate in and around that region. Stryker's known because he is... he used to, at least, live in Mega Building 03. Or Mega Building, I can't remember exactly which one, but he basically spared a lot of innocent people from bullshit gang activity from the Red Rings gang in and around that area, who were trying to like basically turn the place into a wasteland. And he had set up perimeter defenses and security shit and basically stopped them from being able to kind of move past a certain floor.
Nice.
Describe your character, though, Chris.
He's an older guy, so I don't know, upper 40s ish. He does not dress for show. He's got just sort of a olive colored cloak thing on. He's got his heavy shotgun on his side. He's got just sort of a tool belt thing on his front with just various tools on it. It looks as if his entire like left side had been blown off, so his left arm is replaced with cyberware. He's got like some burns on like the left side of his face, along with a replacement eye on his left. He's somewhat like Striga. He's a man of not too many words, but he looks as if he does care.
His no-nonsense reputation precedes him, is the main thing.
Is that a friendship bracelet on his arm?
Yes. Good eye. Okay. Well, probably weren't looking. And that's fair.
My bad. That's so charming.
You would also see Icarus, who I'll have Magpie explain here in a bit, but Striga, since you have a pretty decent kind of awareness, I'm going to allow you to make a human perception roll, which I believe is under social on skills.
Oh, so many pop-ups. I forgot they weren't closing, they were just stacking on top of each other.
That is true.
So I'm sorry, this is an awareness?
Human perception.
Okay.
I think it's under social.
Okay, cool.
And then while you're sorting that, Jijo, regarding your virtuality eyes, would it be more the left or the middle?
Left
Left is kind of bug eyes. Just
the one with the blue hair.
No. The red or the purple. The blue hair is relatively normal Kuroshi optics.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, your optics are still going to be kind of like
I think the middle. We'll say the middle.
I'll see if I can't make that look good.
Aww.
But yeah.
God.
What'd you get on your human perception?
I got an 11.
Yeah, so you, again, you're not unfamiliar with Anika, so you have spent some time with her. 11's good enough for the target number. There seems to be a relation between this person who's about to describe himself and Anika, like a familial relation, something that you're aware of. That said, Magpie, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, between Anika and...
Magpie's character.
Okay.
Icarus. And tell us about Icarus.
Icarus and Anika, gotcha.
So he's fairly young, like maybe 20, maybe 21, like very young. And doesn't have any like outward appearance of any like extensive cybernetics at this time. Likes to wear kind of more trendy clothes with like pops of color, but does have kind of like a traditional scarf that he wears that is sentimental from his family. Appears to be from kind of like a Middle Eastern, like Western Asian descent type of thing going on there. Pretty chill. Is probably sitting on the couch right now. Just chilling. Yeah, he's pretty much go with the flow. He's still kind of learning, getting his Night City training wheels. Still got those on a little bit, but I think I said he was from like New York area.
Yeah, that's right.
So
and the other thing too is with your human perception and everything as described as is, the thing you noticed kind of most is that you're really not sure like what he does. So like there's nothing that sells him as being any kind of role or job that you can
Why
see.
are you here?
Yeah, but usually your lead out would be he's probably a gun. Like I mean, that's the easiest job in Night City, so that might be it. Okay, and then the last person.
Oh, that's right. He likes cartoons. I don't know if you can tell that with your role, but he. Yeah. He watches cartoons frequently.
Riga does not get paid to judge people.
The last last person we got here, you would notice one thing before we get into his full description. He has a symbol on his jacket and his belt, probably, or at some point on him, and it's a star inside of a circle. And you would be aware, again, being familiar with gang situations and family situations in South Night City, that's a family, a nomad family known as the Gibsons. You don't know much about the Gibsons other than they are tangentially related to the Aldecados. You're not sure how. That's it. Calvin, describe. David, describe Calvin, please.
Hey.
Calvin, describe David.
My characters are essentially different aspects of myself at the time. Calvin Gibson is a family man. He came from family. He loves his family. He's proud of his family. And at the present time, he looks for family to trust and to become part of his family. In the future, he hopes to have a family, whether that means taking over daddy's role or settling down and becoming a simple person. He is very simple in most things that he does. He obviously just dresses in whatever he finds available for himself. But he works hard for the people that he trusts, and once you gain his trust, he's very loyal to you. But he's loyal first to the Gibson star.
Yeah, and that's the crew. It looks like they're kind of situated inside this office space. Proceed as you will.
So what? So where is Striga meeting them?
You're meeting in an office. The office in question is a decent sized office. you notice that there was a really shiny looking AV4 on top of the office structure. This out in kind of like the outlands of Japantown. So you're not in some high-rise building or anything. This is a stucco kind of like apartment building that's been kind of converted into like office space. So it's only about like 3 stories, and you're able to see the AV from, you know, street level. There's like a parking lot outside. Think of like, you know, just like a hotel that's like out in the middle of nowhere, but like it's surrounded by industrial shit and Night City.
Yeah, then I guess Striga would just walk in through the front door. Is there like a receptionist desk?
I don't think that's
At Zigzag's place. Yeah, that
Like-
depends on Zigzag. Zigzag can make that cannon if he wants to.
No, there's no reception. It opens into just an open seating area. I'm
You
sure.
have the
maybe.
power to tell everyone that Calvin has to stand there, and thank you
Is
for
there-
that.
Oh,
is
no.
there-
Absolutely not. I don't
there-
know if I would want Calvin to stand there and greet every single person that tries to walk through those front doors. I don't know if you could take that smoke. There was that one time Black Megan came in here.
I have to canonically take some mental damage.
Yeah. Holy crap! Don't you? He already does enough with the driving. But yeah, Striga enters in. Zigzag, you would acknowledge,
Of course.
and then
And I'm sure the first thing I do is like hand them data file with like images on it so they can start like studying the truck and the movements that we've noticed.
so Shard access would basically show you like the plot up until now. So really simply, looking at Night City, you can kind of see not too far away from where your tokens are at. There's a icon that's listed as the Sunset Hotel, right?
Yes.
Okay. The document would tell you that there is tainted black lace, and whatever information on that lace would be probably present in this data file. And it appears to be coming out of the junkyard, which is this kind of space south there of the Sunset Hotel.
Okay.
It happens to be the case that they have learned that garbage trucks are leaving the dump, okay, on the northern side, and then instead of entering into Night City empty and going and getting trash and then bringing it back to the dump, they're leaving that space full of trash or something, and then they are heading east past the Sunset Hotel and onwards.
Right. So they're coming up this way.
Mm-hmm. And then they're heading.
And instead of heading back to the city, they're heading out this way.
Yeah, and
presumably. So do we know if they're getting the black lace from the junkyard or if they're getting it from somewhere else and bringing it back?
It is known that the black lace is coming from somewhere inside the junkyard, but the junkyard is if you can look at it, it's a massive sized kind of element. And basically there are storage containers, old like, building parts, industrial waste, etc. that's in there that allows for people to kind of build their own little city inside of the junkyard. Think very Fallout kind of mentally. So there could be drug makers in there that are hidden away and you can't find them. You need to kind of have an idea of like how you can trace back to them. And so,
all right, what we should probably do is camp out at the Sunset Hotel.
Well, they already did that. They have a camera inside of a hotel room, which you'd be seeing images of. They've been watching the exit. And that's how they found out about the trucks. So now it's basically the known element, or the curious element would be the trucks that are full that are leaving to the east. Why is that happening? And we need to figure that out.
So the problem is the problem them bringing black lace into the city, or just them making black lace, period?
Black lace into the city, and the black lace is tainted. It's no good.
Right. Right. You would know Zigzag has no problem with drugs. Zigzag has a problem with bad drugs.
So who gives a shit about them taking these bad drugs somewhere else?
They're getting filtered back into the city. Like, we know they're getting made in the landfill, and then the trucks we've seen are full coming out of the landfill heading somewhere west. And then I'm sure they have like east away from the city, but they're somehow ending up on the street. Back in the city. So it's easy to disseminate from like smaller mules moving like individual packages back in and filtering it out slowly. The thing is if we can like disrupt that chain at any point before it gets into that like into the like main supply of the city.
Okay, cool. So here's what I think we should do. Striga like takes a moment to sort of process all this information, and at one point you see Striga like reaches in this bag and pulls out a tall iced coffee, and then just like pulls up the bottom part of their mask just so you see their mouth and like nothing else, and then just starts sipping this tall iced coffee while they're going through everything they've got. Doesn't say anything for a long time, just sits there and drinks and like handles all the stuff.
It right in.
And then by the time they're done, they set the iced coffee aside and they pull the mask down and like get like the voice modulator back into place, and they go, "Okay, here's what I think we should do. We should set up some sort of trap ahead of them, just like an ambush, where we can just like quickly overwhelm and subdue the vehicle. Once we do that, we take it somewhere remote but nearby. We get as much information as we can out of the driver. We thoroughly search the vehicle and get as much evidence and I guess information as we can. And then from there, I say we scuttle the truck and make it look like an accident.
So as you're kind of like you sipping the coffee, and then you kind of like start saying what you think is a good plan, you would notice that Icarus and Sugar are sitting on the couch watching a cartoon show, and one of the Sugar is messing with a cyber deck. They're kind of passively paying attention to not only you but also the cartoon. You would see Calvin is probably like just staring at you. I believe Stryker would probably be eating this up. Very much like, okay, yeah. And however you want to play that from there.
So Sugar would respond without like taking her attention away from the screen. Would be like, wait a minute. Wouldn't it be isn't the best way to disrupt the pipeline to just, I don't know, blow up their factory?
Yes, that would be one of the things we're trying to get more information on by taking a truck.
But we know the factory's there, right?
I mean,
well, there's a lot of things out there.
Can we just set all the garbage on fire?
No.
That is not an option, no.
Striga takes a moment to think about it.
Go ahead.
Are we able to get eyes on the junkyard to see if they have any eyes on the sky?
How would you like to get eyes on the junkyard?
Like, so is it organized in any kind of way, or is it just a massive landfill?
It's a massive landfill.
Probably need drones.
Because we got the AV, but it's obviously not smart to drive the AV over if like they'll see us there.
Mm-hmm.
But like if there's
they will see us from afar.
Yeah, but
it will be easy to take us down. The AV does not have the defensive capabilities of the truck.
If there's nothing there, we could do that. But I do like the idea of drones then in the opposing case. Drones with some kind of like way of detecting.
Sure, that is a great idea. Who has a bunch of drones?
Or we could see about maybe, I don't know, would the authorities know anything about the layout of the junkyard or any sort of criminal activity going on out there?
They're likely being paid off.
That's fair.
Yeah, who's to say the authorities aren't in on it?
even if they're being paid off, they might still know something.
That is true. It's
For
a
the right
matter
amount
of
of money.
who we rough up, no? The people in the truck or the local authorities? Who may or may not know something.
Are you talking about NCPD or a corp?
That's a
Those
good
corporal
question.
types
Would
is like
would
dealing with
Militech
Militech.
know anything about these?
Well, you don't have really strong contacts in getting information for yourself from Militech. I think, just so you understand the relationship between you and Militech,
Okay,
we still own you. Like,
that's fair.
right. We let
We
RoboCop
owe you nothing.
20 minutes into RoboCop, not an hour and a half into
in the
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
As soon as they say the would Militech know anything, Calvin would be like,
Oh no, he was asking me. He was asking me.
Yeah, not something Striga would say out loud.
Calvin was saying, I don't fuck with Militech.
I don't
Yeah.
fuck with Militech. Don't trust a
I'm
single
gonna-
piece of shit they say.
I'm gonna probably have a lot more to say about Striga than Striga would.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair.
Yeah, they don't talk. They don't talk. Chat talks.
So it sounds like maybe we go for the truck.
We at least know its schedule at the moment.
Yeah, like we have the advantage there. Is so basically if we were gonna ambush them, we know we're gonna ambush them, but they don't.
Calvin as a character is very comfortable ambushing and stealing trucks.
Yeah, I just don't know enough about like this stretch out here.
Oh, so we're gonna
Where any of
kidnap the
that would
gonk
be.
and interrogate him, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
essentially.
and then
Yeah.
we'll check out the truck and get as much information out of it as we can, and then when we're done, we just scuttle the both of them and make an accident. Just make it look like they drove off the road or some shit.
Calvin, you're very familiar with the 19. It is, pretty much the easiest way to get in from, Nevada. And you would know that the next stop down the road is a pretty good distance away.
So, like, what is the best point on this road that Calvin would know at least? That's out of sight.
It depends on what you're trying to do.
I want to stop them where there's the least amount of possible oversight.
Well, okay. A couple things. This road isn't untrafficked. Like, people drive this road all the time. Most of the time, there are NCPD highway patrolmen that kind of move throughout the area. Most of the time. It's not a guaranteed problem, but what it means is that there aren't a lot of, like, wraith activity. There aren't a lot of, like, gang activity. There isn't a lot of things that happen on this stretch of highway. But if you were to kind of try and set up an ambush, the ambush would have to be more like a police trap than like a spike trap. Because if you put a spike trap down on the road, it's not going to be just the truck that's going to be going over it. It's going to be a bunch of cars that are going over it. And they're going to get pissed, and you don't want a bunch of pissed Night City, citizens, because they all have guns.
Could we set up a fake detour?
You want to impersonate a cop?
Not necessarily.
Oh, I see. Detour.
Could we fake construction in the area? Like, are the cops in the know of every?
Like, put up
single
a bunch
activity that
of
we do?
Wile E. Coyote signs and just like.
Well, like traffic cones, like fucking tear up the road a little bit. Like we put one bomb on the road, pop it off.
Icarus's head like comes around. He's like, "What? What are we doing?"
We put cones up. We pop off a bomb in somewhere in the we put cones up miles apart from each other. We pop off a bomb in the middle and act like we're doing construction in the area, but we're not actually there ourselves. And then we have a fake detour around the area where we like basically just flatten out a path to detour
Right,
around.
we're gonna get called out by authorities real quick on something like that.
Okay.
There's highway patrol here.
Yeah. Calvin, you would also know, like, it's more likely you actually get called out by locals. And as we saw last session, and something I didn't cover with you. At the Sunset Hotel, when they were installing stuff, you were sitting in the parking lot waiting, and there were 3 Wraith cars out there. And in that time, while you were waiting, you saw them pick a fight with one guy and curb stomp him. You then watched them drive off after a random car, knock it off of the road, throw a grenade in it after pulling the 2 passengers out. And even from that distance, you watched as they assaulted them. And what I mean by assault is the following. Imagine the worst thing you could do to a person to just absolutely destroy them.
That's really terrible.
Whatever you're thinking of in your head, it's worse than that. Like, if you've seen...
What I'm thinking is really bad.
If you've seen Clockwork Orange...
It's worse.
Yeah, okay, then that's what we're talking about happened on the road.
Don't tell me you think of the worst thing imaginable.
Yeah.
So this is me as a player, not as Sugar.
Okay.
Sugar is not really thinking about this. But what about this? What if we won by a drone? I mean, Sugar could afford a drone. I think. And we can come up back here by this dam and like set up back here up on top of this mountain or around here. I don't know if that's the thing that we could do. And then have the drone kind of fly around and check out the area because
in bigger circles.
It seemed maybe, I don't know. I mean, just
oh, you're just doing that with your outside.
Yeah, I'm just doing that. I'm just antsy, but so I think like you know, and sort of get an idea of like what's there. I mean, if there's like, you know, 3 guys sitting in a fucking lab, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's not, right? Probably there's not. But I'm just saying, let's get an idea of what's going on there.
Okay. So, just again, to put it into concept, the distance across, like, from north to south is around 1,600 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it's pretty massive, I would think. You want to acquire a drone, which isn't impossible. It's absolutely something you can do. They're not cheap, but they're not, you know, infinity money either, so they're affordable. Okay. It's 5,000 for a mini air drone. And you can have that mini air drone equipped with one of the following, one of which is an observation camera. And you could certainly try and fly it around and see if you can't find anything.
Well, I mean, do we know that it's in this red circle?
No.
Why is that red circle there?
Because the red circle is denoting that that's where it's probably being loaded. Whatever the truck is coming from, it would have to be coming from there. So whatever is loading the truck up and then the truck is leaving, it has to be happening around there.
But what you're telling me, or implying, but not really telling me, is that like their factory or whatever
could be
not
anywhere
necessarily in there.
Could be anywhere.
They could be moving them in one truck, dropping them, picking them up in another, and moving it out to scuttle the trail.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to make the circle bigger.
Go ahead, Chad.
I just said I meant to make the circle bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's a huge area. That's my concern, and we're not entirely sure what we're looking for. We have a solid lead with this truck.
So with this truck, can we wait by the side of the road and just like shoot out its tires?
You could try.
Yeah.
Because like the Wile E. Coyote thing, I agree that. I mean, I love it. I love the idea of like Icarus with like little flags going like,
yes,
you know,
in his reflective vest.
Yes.
If anything, we can go out there today, drop a bomb on the road, blow it up, have the authorities set up their own detour, and that'll be a little easier for us to
that's
traffic through and move through, and then we don't have to man a fucking detour like a bunch of
we don't have to do
like
it ourselves.
let the cops do the cop thing, and
well, you're saying
we'll just drop a bomb.
After they pass or before they pass?
Like tonight, we go set a bomb up now, it blows up, and then by tomorrow afternoon, when the truck is moving through, it'll have to take a detour off the road, take a slower route, which will be easier for us to target it. On the flip side of that, there's going to be a bunch of authorities around while we try and do it.
That's something else that we could do. It's like if we're worried about, like, you know, Night City citizens, you know, sticking their nose in it. I mean, we could let him pass and then set off a bomb behind them to kind of block things off.
So, do we have
no shot?
Do we have the capacity to track vehicles?
Track vehicles? Yeah, if you can get a tracking device on it, sure.
Okay, cool. So why don't we track one of the trucks that's going to get loaded and see where it goes?
Well, because you don't know what trucks are the ones that are getting loaded, because multiple trucks come in through the morning, and some go back into Night City. And so far as to say, on a semi-regular schedule, one truck keeps leaving east with a full load.
Are they always the same kind of truck?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
could we, like,
we have target vehicles leaving, but we don't have target vehicles.
They're WM.
Correct.
They're WM trucks, so it's technically a company that gets money from the city and the government, but the government is actually spending money from a corporation to pay the other corporation.
And are we able to access that company's records?
Not really, no.
I do kind of like that idea of, like...
Okay, I need to ask.
Go ahead, dropped. Go ahead, Magpie.
What is this little butthole-looking black hole?
I don't know.
It keeps distracting me.
Bottom right.
Yeah, this thing here just keeps distracting me.
I keep looking at it too. I also keep looking at it.
Sure. That is a quarry. Yep. And the other thing you would know, Calvin, is that is also where the Wraiths are currently situated with their camp.
I figured someone's like camp I don't want to be around is
the primary
like
camp
all around there.
Because you remember your old camp was here, like here.
And
then you learned that they were living there, and then your family moved up,
way up north.
Yeah, up way up there.
They're like, fuck these guys.
Yeah. But yeah,
I do like Zito's idea of possibly popping, or is that Zigzag, of popping the bomb off after the truck passes, so that we have the least amount of eyes on us as possible. All attention gets pointed towards where the bomb went off, and the least amount of attention is where the people have already passed by.
I'm all about the bombs. Don't get me wrong.
I was like, this is a really good way to show.
We can set off a fucking bomb in the hotel if you want to draw the attention back to the Sunset Hotel, like, for all Zigzag cares.
And we'll blame Militech.
Wait, let me get it right. So, Calvin, you were saying, like, detonate a bomb that blocks other traffic that's eastbound from coming.
Oh, that wasn't my idea. That was someone. That was
okay.
That was Zito's. I think it was Zito's.
Yeah. And then chasing them. Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, or we can still.
Or we could be set up. Yeah.
Further down, so and like
the bomb.
Two teams. One team to set up the bomb behind, and one team
here,
to
ambush here.
Ambush further down the road, so that way, like, all traffic coming in is cut off behind. Once we see the truck go by, that also lets the team that's waiting on the ambush know we have X amount of time because the truck's moving this fast before it comes here. So that's when we set the ambush, and when we hit the bomb behind it, there's no one coming up. So even if the ambush goes a little wonky and they gotta like drag them out of the truck and like take a few rounds to blow some stuff up with the truck to make it look like an accident, they have time.
Wouldn't blowing up the bomb like immediately like draw attention to at least that spot, and then like anything in the larger surrounding area?
Yep.
It's like blow up a bomb, and then like I don't know if the like Militech or the feds or the city like police come in probably with their like flying things that I can't think of what they're called right
AVs.
now. AVs. They're like, oh, there's their what's that down there? A truck getting raided.
rated.
It's true. We basically do start the
it'll have
timer
to
the
be-
moment the bomb goes off. You know what I mean? Like it becomes a timed operation to get away from the authorities.
And it would also semi-rely on how tight is the relationship with the tainted black lace, like whatever it is, with the actual like cops. Because if it's really tight, they're watching that garbage truck. If it's not really tight, they're watching for everything.
Well, I guess if they show up, that's probably pretty telling.
Yeah.
I'm kind of down with this idea still, though.
Yeah, and that begs the question, I guess, like, if we disable the truck on the road, then there's just this fucking truck on the road with a bunch of bad drugs in the back.
Well, I don't plan to stop it.
No.
If we take control, I plan to
catch the
take it
truck, yeah,
away.
You take it off.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So initially, I was like, let's blow out its tires. So no. So how do we like intercede to like take it over?
You need to pull some Fast and Furious shit without getting shot with a shotgun.
100%.
We pulled the truck up next to it. Striga hops from the Calvin's
to the
truck
other,
to
and we take
the
control of
garbage
that
truck,
truck.
and
Yeah.
and have
we
a
take
threat
out
on
the drivers.
the people
Yeah,
that we're driving.
If shit goes south, just
we go
auto-cannon.
superhero mode,
Auto-cannon
and
the shit
we're
out of
saying we'll
fucking
take them out one way or the other. You know,
Yeah. If we can't interrogate 2 dead bodies, we still can investigate a truck.
it's true.
Totally.
Sugar is like, and she's like, I bet if Crystal was around, she would have just like thrown a grenade in there or something. Ugh.
Absolutely, Sugar.
So the plan is, just to make sure I've got it, wait for them. Once they've passed,
Your fucking stupid plan.
detonate a bomb.
Stupid.
Let me get this straight.
Detonate a bomb to stop any possible traffic coming from behind you. Give chase to the garbage truck, which isn't going to be going terribly fast. Catch up with them. Board the vehicle. And stop it. Trying not to kill
We live one half mile at a
the
time, okay?
passengers. And then interrogate the passengers. And then keep the truck for yourself.
Yeah, they say all good plans have only a few points, so that way they can't fail. We just threw as many in as possible, so there's like a million failure
Even
points.
if we miss,
Oh, yeah.
even if we miss a couple, we're good.
Yeah, right.
So-
like if we make a super
Alternatively-
complicated Rube Goldberg of a machine of a plan, then there's no way one thing could go wrong.
Here's my more complicated plan.
Sure. I was gonna say real quick, because it's a lot faster than what you're probably gonna say. I literally came up with this idea, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Fast and the Furious. This will be easy. They're just gonna go right for that." So there was like a high moment in your planning where you're like, "Yeah, well, it's Fast and the Furious." I'm like, "Finally," but there's no expected goal here. I love this. This is wonderful. Continue with your thought.
What if
Is it
even
really
more
necessary to
complicated?
go
Even
above?
more complicated. We buy a garbage truck. And
Yes,
we,
Icarus wants a garbage truck.
we not a fucking explosive bomb, but a giant smoke bomb. And all of a sudden, one garbage truck looks like another garbage truck, but they're not in the same place they were the first time. They swap places. Now one garbage truck is heading in one
Oh my
direction.
god, this is like, which one is this? Fast and Furious 4? Where they like grab the truck.
So
You know, I've only watched the first 2 Fast and Furious.
In the Harry Houdini, David Copperfield, Penn and Teller.
David, baby.
So, real quick, you do know the make and model of the waste management truck that is being utilized. You would know that they are pretty new. 41 is the model year. That said, they are made specialty by Toyo Ford, and they're pretty pricey when it comes to purchasing. I believe, I'm double checking my notes here.
I like how Ford got its whole name in there.
Toyo Ford.
Feel fun.
They are
Toyor
about
sounded weird.
85,000
Toyor.
eddies for the truck. And unfortunately, there are no used variations of that specific truck. You could buy an older, like garbage truck, but it doesn't seem like WM uses them anymore.
Yeah, it probably, if we bought an older one, it'd probably take like way more than a day to make it look like a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a bullshit idea to begin with, so it's cool.
I am still gonna humor it.
Definitely
Fucking
like
iconic.
I definitely like the idea of us boarding the vehicle.
Regardless, I have
So,
full confidence that I can
what if-
get my truck up to that truck and someone can get on it. No
Go
matter
ahead.
what the plan is, that's gonna happen.
Chris, go ahead.
So what if we did just get, I don't know, some older garbage truck, but one that looks unassuming still. We use the cameras or whatever. We watch out for when they're like pulling out of their station. You okay?
No, sorry, it's just the Shizo audios. I know they stepped away for a second. But...
Okay. We watch for when they're pulling away. We pull ours like out in front or something, and then we base like with the team, I don't know, hidden in the back of the truck. We basically roll extreme coal on this truck so they don't see us jumping out onto theirs, and then that's when we start Fast and Furious in it.
Thoughts?
How
Okay.
much is the truck?
Yeah, so an older one would probably be somewhere in the ballpark of 10,000 or 5,000. Calvin, quick note. What you had said was very precise. I want to make sure you say that one more time. What you said regarding your confidence.
Oh, I am 100% sure that no matter what the plan is, I can get my truck next to this truck and get the person that we need onto that truck to do what we need to do. I can make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, that's probably the best,
Yeah,
easiest.
There is a solo delivery system.
Like,
and
100%.
we have two of
Calvin-
them, one for the driver and one for a passenger. You know what I mean? Like they could easily.
Well, if Sugar rides as well, she can man the autocannon. So
Right.
if shit does go south, she can kind of shoot out the truck to a point where it's not functionally drivable.
And that leaves me and Stryker to run the bomb operation.
If that's even
Like,
necessary, because I
If
believe
it
Yeah, I
is
don't even know.
necessary, that's true.
Like, literally, no matter, like, unless the vehicle that Calvin is driving is trash, he can make that happen with nearly anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we're probably good with just the truck.
truck's a pretty good
Let's do
choice.
it.
Okay, so again,
Put the two solos in the bed. Put the net runner on the gun. We put Stryker in the passenger seat to cover the driver in case shit goes south while they're actually fighting, and we're good. You know, got a
Sounds
couple
like
of
a deal to
backup
me.
plans, couple of contingencies. You can even leave Zigzag in the Sunset Motel to like call out when the
if there's anything following or anything crazy.
right when the truck comes through, or if like authorities are coming, so that way you've got like a head start notice if like he sees a caravan coming out, or like, you know, all of a sudden 5 fucking roadrunners come out this and start chasing her like go-karts or whatever, you know.
Do we have
You never
access
fucking
to-
know.
I have to keep going to
Maybe
Roadrunner and Violet Coyote. Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
I don't know, man.
I was just going to ask if we have access to a second vehicle.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
There's a motorcycle, I believe,
Hmm.
and I believe there is an AV4, but that's probably not a good idea.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit too
Flashy.
much. Yeah.
I have a couple. I have another solo and another driver I can call too if we do want another car.
And Calvin can procure, like,
Calvin has a car because there was the car you were using to race.
yeah.
Oh right.
Like Calvin has secondary options. He just has to call somebody
Right.
first. As long
Yeah.
we still have a day ahead of us, so Calvin can
Yeah,
make
because if
those.
we're going to leave somebody behind, they might as well have a way to.
So
The family also has like nomadic style vehicles available to them.
Go ahead, yeah, Magpie.
Have we thought about whether or not they have any sort of communication abilities with whoever or wherever they're going?
Everybody has agents.
Okay, but like, is there any way to kind of disable that temporarily?
Without murdering the person or the physical agent, no, there's no way to stop someone from making a phone call.
There are no cell phone jammers in this universe.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was like,
hold on.
There are EMP devices, though.
There are.
Are there EMP devices that get past EMP shielding?
That's the hang up.
well, and we have to think it would also probably affect us as well.
Well, yeah.
One second. Looking for a cell phone jammer.
Because I mean,
Communication
yeah. I mean, we can probably do it quickly,
So you could
but
get,
like,
you could get a jamming transmitter. It'll cost you 500 eddies. It's not going to be too much, but they don't have a massive range. Like it's not going to be. It's usually kind of
if
like
I'm on the hood of this dump truck.
correct. It's basically like a one room kind of like area that's going to be jammed. But what that means is if you're using a jamming transistor, you also will be muted. So you won't be able to communicate with your team while that's happening either. But they won't be able to communicate with anyone else.
Yeah, I think it might be worth it. What is it called again?
Jamming transmitter.
What about
And it's out of character. It's not in the book. It is in the 2020 gear list. So
Okay.
I will sometimes just be like, no, it exists in this world too. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Okay.
It existed 25 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It existed 25 years ago in real life as well.
It's like,
Holy
why would it?
shit.
Why would it not? Yeah.
what the fuck they do to cell phone signal in 2020?
It's like, yeah, we can't expect that one guy to have made what is his name?
Mike Pondsmith.
To have literally like named every single thing that exists.
Right.
Well, he out of character, or out of kind of like red. I mean, he kind of did in 2020, 2013, and all that. Like, there's been a lot of books and handouts and stuff and crazy shit that's come out that's had a lot of kind of crazy tech. So, I mean, again, looking into it, it does look like a jamming transmitter was an option that was available in the olden times. So I don't see why it wouldn't have been a problem to get one here. But like I was saying, it is very short range. It's mostly to kind of jam like a single room from being able to be called out of or called into.
Okay.
Because I actually had one in I remember having one in a Cyberpunk game, and I was like, I've done this before. I've done it, so they should be able to too. Okay.
I'm sorry. Is there anything stopping me from buying a grenade launcher?
There's not.
No, not at all.
Okay. If you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to go shopping for a little while.
Well, we'll assume that happened in the in-between.
Yeah, sorry. I remember Striga got paid for a job.
Yeah, baby.
Spend them ducats.
We also have this too. He holds up a giant fucking railgun that Zigzag just bought. She's not going to be using it for a while.
If Elizabeth is watching, your new present.
Sorry, I don't mean to let another man pop that cherry, but like, I know Crystal wants to fire that thing first.
Isn't it like sparkly pink too?
Yeah, it is very crystal.
Yeah, it's not Striga, but I think they'll get over the aesthetic to use a railgun if they have the body for it. I don't know what their body stat is, to be fair.
Have you gotten to name it yet?
The yassification of war crimes.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know if Striga has the body.
I don't know what
Sean,
their
you don't have
I don't know what their
body,
stats are. I
honey.
haven't played with them. So
It's 2 shy.
damn. Never mind.
You gotta get the BBL before you can handle it.
The railgun.
Yeah, 2 shy from the railgun. The railgun,
Yeah.
I think, needs 12 of you. Or 11.
Wow.
I don't remember
Well,
offhand.
I know what I'm gonna be pumping up sooner or later.
Well, if you want, you have been down for a while. It has been a bit since that job. How much money do you have?
I had 10,000.
Muscle. Crafted muscle and bone lace. Do you already have it or no?
Don't believe so.
Trigger. Internal body cyberware. Nope, you don't. So we'll just go ahead, and it is 1,000 eddies. The surgery cost is hospital, so that would have been 2,500. So you give me 5,000 eddies, and I'll say you also got the therapy to cover it, and we'll go ahead and just throw that on your body.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Sick.
Yay!
There you go.
And what's that pump it up to?
12.
So now I have a railgun?
So now you can use
Yeah.
a railgun. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, there is a railgun here if you think a railgun will be useful.
I mean, more guns.
I know. When is a railgun not useful, right?
I can find something.
As long as you can carry it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Railgun. I want to go ahead and
Keep it.
add it to your character sheet, I think.
Thank you.
It should be at the very bottom, the Rheinmetall EMG 86 railgun.
Well,
Yeah, it requires a body of 11 to use unless it's mounted. You could have mounted it to the vehicle, but in all honesty, I don't see why Striga wouldn't have spent 5,000 eddies and some time,
yeah.
recovering to be able to
Oh wow.
punch shit way harder.
Yeah.
Right.
This is I could see this working. Like cool, now we don't even have to get that fucking close to stop this guy.
Again, shooting out tires sounds like a great idea, but I'm sure everyone in here has had a flat tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost died
I think
once.
it's more about disabling or killing the driver.
Yeah.
Although I think if you take out
I don't drive, so I don't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna probably pick up some more random stuff. So, I think Striga has made their point clear. I think Fast and Furious is the way to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, the leaving somebody behind at the hotel to sort of watch our back.
Shut up.
Leaving somebody behind at the hotel to watch our back is not a bad idea either.
Okay.
As long as they have some sort of vehicle, so,
So,
they can get out.
new plan. Zigzag at the hotel, in the hotel room, waiting. The second that the vehicle passes, notating it. Calvin in the truck with crew up ahead, probably just down the road a bit. And then once they, are aware that it's coming, they get ready and then they prepare to drive and intercept the vehicle on the road. Disabling the vehicle or disabling the driver, and then trying to get at least one person in the vehicle as a source of information. Sound right?
Yes.
Sounds right to me.
Great.
Can Sugar operate the gun on the back of the truck?
Yes,
Yeah, you'll have to be in the car, but yeah. So seating wise, it is sounding like Icarus and Striga will be in the bed of the truck with the autocannon. They can't use it from there. They just are in there. It's not a lot of space, is what I'm trying to say. And then Sugar will be in the back seat with the tablet that controls the autocannon. Striker will be in shotgun with a shotgun, ready to shotgun. And David will be doing the hard part. Sound accurate?
I don't know. Zigzag's job seems pretty tough. It's a lot of danger being up at the hotel drinking margaritas, looking out the window, waiting for something to drive by.
Okay. So, we're going
I
the
like that
day.
attitude.
We're going like crack of dawn early the day of, and dropping Zigzag off, or are we going the day before dropping Zigzag off? How's that work?
I kind of think we should get Zigzag into the hotel the night before. That way, it's
I'm okay with that.
a little bit less.
I have
suspicious.
absolutely no problem running that diversion.
Zigzag, since you don't want to kind of be seen with the truck or associated with it, you did avoid that last time. You call Salt, and Salt will drive you out there.
Perfect.
Real quick, does anybody else get the reference in character? That is, if Stryker is just like, all right, so we're gonna Fast and Furious this thing.
Yeah, Fast and Furious is a movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In this universe, Paul Walker did not pass away, and it's up to Fast and the Furious. In the 2028 is when this franchise ended with Too Old for This Furious.
Too fast, too old.
That's the one where they were in golf carts, right? On the golf course, launching it off of like different hills and things. Yeah.
Do you remember the scene
Too
where
old,
Bob
too
Barker
ornery.
beats the shit out of Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore? That's the movie. That was just the movie.
Oh man.
That makes me so sad. Him dying hurt my soul.
Yeah. Anywho, plan in operation. So Zigzag, you're at the hotel. You do notice that it gets pretty rowdy at night. It does look like this place has been gone through since you were last here, but you're still paying for it, so it's whatever. You do notice that there are some of the 6th Street folks who have come in again. And you do also notice that there are still wraiths kind of about at night. You sleep well enough, but you kind of have like every so often it's quiet out here, more so than the city. There's no city noises. And so when you hear something kind of like change, like the roar of an engine or like some jackass laughing, it kind of hits different than it would in Night City. But nothing happens during the night. Calvin, you and the crew wake up, get together, drive out there in the truck, right? Everyone's in the truck. And you head to a nice position where you can kind of move to intercept. It's not too far down the way, but perfectly situated, and you feel like a good place where you're not going to be seen by the truck as it's approaching. That makes sense. It's relatively early, so there aren't a lot of cars out and about. It does look like there are some, Calvin. And what you know is true is that most people are aware that the wraiths are kind of in this area, and wraiths are night owls. They kind of party all night. So, like, the safest time to drive is piss fuck early in the morning, because nobody's going to be awake, you know?
Just a note, Zigzag would know exactly when the truck drives by the motel, send Stryker a message that just says time, and then when they get exactly to where they're going to run the ambush, he says time back to Zigzag, so we know exactly how long we have between like the motel and the ambush point for him to like let you guys know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have we established the ideal ambush point?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Calvin's just going to drive after the truck, and then you're going to assault it on the road.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can pull that off.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, Striga, Icarus in the back, in the bed, so you're out in the open.
Yeah,
in the
I really
elements.
don't think I'm going to need the railgun for this, or I don't think the railgun's going to be ideal. But
That's fine. We can leave it in the apartment.
okay.
Just
yeah,
it's an option if we want to take it on and op.
right. Sounds like a deal to me. Yeah, but I think other than that, I think we can pull this off.
Okay. So very easy metric here. Garbage truck drives past. Zigzag on the hollow. Says.
Oh, they're moving now. Get ready.
Striker
Striker
piles in
communicates
the
that
car.
to the team, or if he says that on, never mind.
It would be on the hollow so everyone could hear it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No worries. Okay. So it's driving past relatively quick. But Calvin, very quickly in his first kind of leg of the sprint, position-wise, you're able to get very close to it very quickly. So let me just change the music up to something a bit more awesome. You get right behind it, a good, couple dozen meters behind it. You're pretty sure that you... Actually, this one's good and all, but I think this one's better. Yep. Cool. Leave your tokens at the bottom, please.
Not bad.
No worries. It's easier kind of fluidity if the truck is just able to move without all the tokens on top of it bobbling around. You're able to get pretty close to it. Oncoming traffic, doesn't appear to be any. Traffic behind you, not for quite a while. Like, you can hardly make out the silhouette of the vehicle quite a distance behind you. And you would know that up ahead of the garbage truck, there are a couple of cars that you saw pass you as you were kind of waiting for them, kind of counting cars as you kind of brought it on. That said, what do you want your approach to be, David?
You said up ahead was a couple.
Hold on. David, you're muted.
Okay, I got you. You're right. I will come up behind it, acting as if I'm just simply trying to pass, so I don't give it I don't threaten the driver to act any kind of erratically, and then I will pull around to its left and accelerate to get right on its passenger side at the last moment.
Okay. And then you were saying, Chad?
You mentioned vehicles that had passed.
So when you were waiting,
Yeah.
cars were going the same direction.
Right.
And there's cars in front of the garbage truck, but there are no cars between you and the garbage truck now at this point. There are some cars that are way behind you, but you can only kind of make out the silhouette of them on like the horizon.
I got you.
And then there are some cars that are up ahead, which might pose a problem if you start speeding past them, if that makes sense. Okay, so that said, you pull up, you kind of throw on your turn indicator, and you start to kind of pass them. So you would know at this point that any smart driver would always have weapons ready. So if there are people inside of that truck, they're probably going to have guns, and they're probably not going to see this as like oh, okay, someone's passing me, no big deal. This is not a maneuver that's...
They are always concerned.
Yes.
Right.
You're living in a paranoid world, not a normal...
That's okay. If I came up right on them as a threat, they would be even more alert.
Okay. So you go ahead.
Can I make a quick scan to see if there's any kind of net activity coming off the machinery?
No. But what you do detect is there is a net-like access. And what I mean by that is there does appear to be some sort of interface for machine link-up. Some vehicles, some trucks, as Calvin is well aware because he has the link-ups for it, have means of connecting to the vehicle so that you can pilot the vehicle autonomously.
But there's no wireless.
There's no net architecture, yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of a trace of there being some sort of link-up. Okay, so you move to pass it. You pull up alongside of it. Okay. At this point, there's two people in the bed of the truck. There's the passenger side, which is literally able to see the driver at this point. The driver appears to be wearing like a white cowboy hat, kind of like a grizzled-looking dude. He's got the same armband that the jackasses at the hotel had, the 6th Street arm marker. And it looks like he's got one other guy that you can see from this vantage point in his passenger seat. There might be someone else inside the cabin. You're not sure. But you can see that they do have the driver kind of like eyes rolled in the back of his head, driving, looks like every so often, as you're kind of moving, you can see kind of like a plume of smoke. And as you're moving up on him, you see him kind of put a cigarette to his mouth, even though his eyes are kind of rolled into the back of his head, and smokes. And you would see that the passenger, in his hand, he has a very massive looking budget arms shotgun, kind of like not pointed at you, but very much ready to be pointed at you, Striker.
Damn, I really should have brought that fucking rifle.
It looks like they're giving you the benefit of the doubt and letting you pass, Calvin. Do you want to pass, or do you want to start the fight here?
I'm ready for it to start right here.
Okay,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So to roll combat with the truck gun, I don't have that on my sheet.
Correct, it's interface.
Oh, okay. So just make interface rolls.
Correct, but again, you'll have to do some actions to get it ready because it's not out and about. You don't want to drive too long with it up and out.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like if I pass them, I'll give them the advantage because they can shoot right at us, but we'll have a hard time shooting back at them.
Perfectly fine. So with that,
I mean, you got two of your best gunners, three of them in the bed. You know what I mean?
With that being said, I went ahead and put up the initiative tracker, as you should be able to see. And I'm going to put that over here down underneath your character tokens. Okay.
Oh, I gotta pick my token again. I rolled 13.
Okay. Cool. So everybody has rolled their initiative, right?
Do you want me on the tracker?
Nope.
Okay.
Not much you can do here.
Feel like I did my job.
The way a fixer should. Hi, son. Okay, so circulating. Descending. Oh, hold on. This guy. Save.
So should I just go for it and shoot the window? I was thinking shoot the window out and throw a flashbang in there.
Why did it roll security officer? That's weird. No idea. Oh, I see. Hold on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you remember your initiatives?
It was 13.
Yeah.
I'm deleting the old initiative clock. Please select your token, right-click it, and then select Add Token, and then change your initiative in the tracker to what it was supposed to be. That was a DM faux pas.
I didn't click my token to begin with. That's why I called out what my number was.
I'm right-clicking mine, and it's not doing the thing.
Okay,
Just left-click on the number.
What was your initiative?
It was 10.
Mine was 13.
Okay. I think I got all of you. You said 13?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. All right. So top of the initiative is Striga. This is the positioning you're at. You're probably about a good 3 to 5 feet, or 2 meters at most, away from the actual truck itself. The garbage truck. The garbage truck's about 12 feet tall, compared to the bed of the truck, which is about 6 feet up. So it'll be a little bit of a jump to get on top of the garbage truck if that's your goal.
Probably more of a jump climb.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's just first thing just get on top of it because it seems like that's the safest place.
So your action in this is kind of jumping. So go ahead and make an athletics roll.
Okay. Is that under body?
Yeah.
Yes.
And David, just to confirm, you're going about 70 miles per hour at this point. Okay.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Shriga, you kind of like wait, and then you kind of like step out onto the lip of the truck, like up on the top portion. And as you're kind of moving, you see that the guy, you can kind of see that the driver is like, smoking a cigarette. His smoke kind of plumes out. And as it passes you by, you kind of step up on with both feet and then push off, landing with like your top half and your pelvis. And you're able to pull yourself onto the top of that truck. As you're kind of standing free frame on the garbage truck, you're not really able to kind of move around as freely as you'd like. So if you attempt to move at your normal speed, there may be repercussions. If you get my meaning?
No, yeah. Like now,
I said hi, Stasi. Jesus.
Now my main goal is to just hang on and slowly make my way to the cab.
Okay. So if you're slow crawling over there, again, your action has been used.
Yeah.
You're able to kind of make it. You're able to kind of make it over the cab and kind of at that point where the arms that would grab like a garbage bin.
Dumpster.
Yeah, a dumpster. That's the word I want. Thank you. Are located. Cool. Sugar done?
Yeah.
Sugar up. Tisha?
Okay, so I'm gonna use a net action to jack in, another net action to control, another net action to like activate it.
Yeah, put it up.
And I think that's it. I have 4, but I don't want to start firing off yet. Hopefully it just looks menacing enough.
Yep.
That they don't put up too much of a fight.
Targeting on this is pretty bare bones. It's nothing crazy, but it doesn't even really have like any vision alteration. It's normal sight. It's like a camera.
Okay.
So just a heads up there. So sugar done. It goes to them. You see the guy kind of eyes flicker and his hands grab a hold of the steering wheel and he looks over to the left at you, Calvin, and you watch him hard shift the steering wheel. I need you to make a driving roll, please.
Okay. That's what I'm good at, sucker.
What'd you get?
I got a 24, 25.
So there's this
critical success.
There's this moment where you kind of like see that, and then you kind of like look over your shoulder, and then kind of look in the mirror real quick, and you can see that Icarus hasn't gotten up to a position where he's going to fly off the truck or anything, and Striga's no longer on the truck, and you're kind of like seeing it, and like you're doing like the motions, and you immediately throw your foot on the brake, and then kind of snap to like the shift changer, and kind of drop it down into like neutral, so it like doesn't go like into like a full stop, and then kind of snap back into like, you know, whatever. You do a cool fucking thing with the manual stick. I don't know how cars work. But the point is
I put my right foot
It's
on
fucking
the shifter
cool.
and I ran it to drive 2. Then I put it back on the shifter and I ran it back to drive 1.
they shift across the median as if they were going to ram you off of the road into the barricade, and you kind of stop a bit, but you don't full stop. You're just kind of jaunted.
Yeah.
All right, it goes back to you.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come around on the other side.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull the. Who's in my truck bed right now?
Icarus.
Yeah, I'll pull up. I'll pull up enough so that Icarus has line of sight on him.
Okay, so you're still looking at the back of the truck, Icarus, as you kind of like shift a bit in the bed. Again, not a horrible move that would throw you off or anything, but still kind of like, what the fuck? As you're kind of moving around, you can see the big rear view mirror that's kind of on the right side. And you see a guy looking back at you, and you also would see him kind of like not peering fully out the window, but looks like he's about ready to pop out here in a second. You don't have a good line on him, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
All right, it goes to you.
Okay, so with the position that we're in currently, would it make more sense if I climb over the front of our car, our truck?
You could try that, but I want you to think about this in your headspace. Does it make sense to try and, at 70 miles per hour on the highway, to try and climb over the top of a truck ever? Like, is that something?
No. And none of this would make any sense in real life.
Fair enough.
Would not
It's
do
all
any of
fake.
this.
If you want to action hero it, I suppose.
Rule of cool. Magpie, pull out that rule of cool card.
Hey,
Throw it down.
Cyberpunk is rule of cool. What's
I would
the coolest shit you can think of?
I would say if your goal is you're trying to jump onto the other vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need two things. David, I need a driving roll from you. And then Icarus, I need an athletics check from you. Okay. So Icarus kind of like moves, slowly crawls, like, and very, very cautiously is kind of getting out onto the front of the vehicle. And Calvin, you're kind of like in your head, you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, because this is crazy, right? And so he gets to the front, and then you see him kind of jump off, but you immediately see that, like, there's not enough, like, distance in that jump, and you're able to kind of, like, accelerate fast enough where you catch Icarus in the butt, and he kind of folds over back onto the hood of the vehicle. His legs kind of sprawl up the windshield, and his hands are kind of holding on to the front of the hood. His weapon straps to his back. But he does not get smashed in between the vehicles. He does not get rolled underneath your truck. You manage to kind of like, he's not going to make, and you just like, I gotta go and save his life by rolling him up your vehicle.
I want to say Calvin is used to this type of situation because of Runner.
100%. Striker, your optics in the window are a bit blocked by Icarus, but not entirely. And also kind of looking out the window, you can see the asshole I mentioned, who is on the passenger side of the garbage truck. You can see him looking in the mirror, and he's kind of like getting ready to pop out.
All right. Oh man. So we've already got Sugar on the gun, so no point doing that.
Oh, a quick note. Sorry, Sugar. This is very important. The autocannon can only shoot at 180 degrees behind the vehicle. We've covered this in the past. That's why you had to back into that data forge, or back into that bank. So you can't shoot over the top of the hood, over the car. So there's no front-facing firing. You can shoot to the sides. You just can't shoot over the top.
God damn it!
But anyways, back to Striker.
Even if it could turn that far, it would shoot through the truck
because it's not super high up.
Yeah.
Can I just like I've got my shotgun out, and in case they start really pulling any funny business.
Yeah, if you want to kind of lean out and like, because it's got that pistol grip, you can kind of saddle it, and like if they pop out, you can ready in action to shoot them if they do.
Just look at them real disappointed, like.
Or if you just
remember what their dad's like.
Yeah, you could also ready to sternly dad face them.
Can I sort of have my gun at the ready while sort of hanging out the window, but still be sternly dad facing them?
You can do, yeah, you can do both. All that. So you're ready to shoot them, but also disappointed face on. Yeah, that makes sense. So Striga, you're up literally on the top of the garbage truck. You're pretty sure that they're aware of you because you're not being quiet. And it's probably quieter in there than it is out here with all the wind and everything. That said,
I'm focused on hanging on and making my way towards the cab. And then my next goal is to smash the window and throw a flashbang in there.
Okay.
While you're on the truck?
Well, hold on. Do you want to smash out
priority number one is hanging on.
You want to smash out the windshield, or do you want to?
No, the passenger side window.
Both the windows are down.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I'll just climb up.
Yeah.
Climb up there and throw a fucking flashbang and
smoking on the driver's side and getting ready to shoot people on the passenger side. So do you want to throw it on the passenger side or the driver's side? It doesn't really matter, but it could matter.
Side.
Okay, so make another athletics roll.
Okay. Can I spend extra dice for this one?
No, so what you do is you can spend luck. You can spend as many points of luck as you'd like, and it adds a +1 to your roll. But you have to spend it beforehand.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to spend a luck on this
one. Yeah!
It'll be 1 point of luck. So that'll be a 16 instead of a 15. And I'll let you know that is actually exactly the number you needed to roll because the DB was 15. So you kind of like are crouching down and trying to get it in at an angle without it bouncing off of the door and flying backwards at your crew, and you manage to get it in. It lands in the lap of the guy. You can just barely see it like hitting his crotch, and then you hear and ding as the sound kind of like deafeningly kind of shakes throughout. The car seems to block it enough that you only kind of like have a moment of like a slight ring, but not enough to kind of deafen you. But you're pretty sure that everybody in the cabin is been subjected to a flashbang.
Okay, do I have like anything else I can do on my turn, like now climbing inside the cab?
Your action was throwing the grenade. Keep in mind, in D&D, like a round is like 6 seconds, right? In Cyberpunk, it's like 1.5 seconds. So it's like...
I know exactly what I'm doing next turn, so it's okay.
Okay, perfect. Done. Let's see. Flashbang effect. Bear with me here. I've got a ganger, a pyro, and...
Money well spent.
All right, I need to roll resist. Okay. All right. That's a failure. Body resist. Super successful. And the ganger... Okay, so yeah, you are not sure what's happening on the inside, but you know that everybody was subjected to the flashbang. All right, Striga done, Sugar up.
I use one-hit action to aim it as far as I possibly can to point at the garbage truck. Can I ready action to shoot?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if I ever, between now and my next turn, if I'm ever in a position where I can aim and shoot at a guy sticking out the window with a gun, then I'll do it.
Okay. So Sugar done. It goes to them. So Calvin, quick note: if you were ahead of it, you would have had 2 people on the bed of the truck and the autocannon, and able to kind of shoot at their front facing. So just a heads up there. But moving on to that. So you would actually see the truck kind of careen and kind of slam into the side a second because it was already kind of in that momentum. But then you see like it kind of almost autonomously kind of move into a lock position. Calvin, you have the same program in your head. Basically, it's for long haul drives. If he's connected to the truck, if the driver ever goes to manual and has an issue, it snaps back into automatic. So the driver, you presume, was probably hit by that bright flash of light, is not having a good time. The ringing sound from your ears goes away for a second, then you hear screaming and kind of like a weird panicky cry, and then you hear a voice say, "Shut the fuck up," from the back seat. All right.
Then my goal is only to overtake it and just take a leading position on it.
Okay, we'll get to that here in a second. There's still person inside. Striga, you would see the frame of an individual kind of come up and out the window, kind of halfway out. And in one hand, they appear to be holding a massive, like, pickaxe, which they slam into the top of the truck as they come out. And in the other hand, they reel out this massive-looking flamethrower and kind of point it directly at you. Their action is igniting it. You watch it. That'll probably be their action during their next turn. Done with them.
Sorry, they were pointing it at Striga?
Yeah. It hasn't lit yet, or they use their action to ignite it. But Calvin, that's on this side of the vehicle, so you see this very large booster ganger kind of popped out. It looks like he's got the flamethrower kind of attached to his forearm, and it kind of comes up with like the barrel out that way, and he's kind of lifted it up and is pointing it at Striga, and you can see that the fire is kind of burning on the end of it.
Sorry, which side of it is?
Passenger side.
I was on Twitch. All right. I'll still take a leading position. At the very least, if like Striga needs to move, he can jump back into the bed of the truck.
Okay. And that would be a good escape option for them. That's true. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is shift, and you're pulling up ahead of them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, as you're kind of
also, I wanted to ask is how much lead do I have? Do both trucks have to the next like car?
So you've been speeding a little bit, but you haven't really been going full like bore. They try to shove you and such, so you haven't caught up with those cars yet. They're still like probably good 20 or so car lengths ahead of you.
Okay. Totally fine then. Yep. Rolling with this plan.
That said, your ready to action sugar will trigger, but you are very, very close range with his autocannon. So go ahead and make an interface roll while I look up the charts. Rifle.
16.
It's a pretty good roll. Sorry, bear with me. This chart's always the thing I have the hardest time. I know it's page 3 something, and
Sugar is like actually in the middle, like while all this is happening, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" She like pops open an energy drink, and is like, "Look, look, 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 look." Like, and at that moment, mid drink, she notices, "Oh shit!"
Where is the? Does somebody have a rifle on them?
Yes.
If so, click an attack with it. It's going to drop the chart for me. That's easy.
Is it an assault rifle?
I'm looking for the assault rifle chart. Yeah.
I got it open.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so you shoot the thing. It slams into the car door. So the aim is a bit low, is what you realize, and you see it put like a massive, probably about 6-inch radius, like ablation, smashed right into the side of the truck. What you notice is,
want me to just roll the autocannon?
Well, no, they roll interface for. I don't care about the damage. It's not getting through.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing has a SDP on its side frame of 50, so it's not getting through.
Yeah, I rolled a 16, and the DV is a 17.
Yep. So you need an 18 to hit. So you smash the side of it, and like I was saying, like the green paint just obliterates, and there's like a massive kind of like just dent in it. It looks like it's about 6 inches radius. So like 12-inch diameter, like big old circle. But you notice that it doesn't go deeper than maybe like a couple of millimeters. Like it was just a flat hit. But yeah, autocannon has a rate of fire of 2, so you can take a second shot.
Okay.
Jesus.
Nice.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Calvin, go ahead and roll the autocannon to drop the damage. Okay. And if I remember correctly, it has the armor rating on the booster game.
What 27. Fuck, man? That's a lot of damage.
Bear with me here.
That was a fail.
Oh gosh.
That was a 27. It was a fail.
The booster ganger, or the pyro would be the one that this hits. So that would be.
Yeah, but it takes my interface roll, not the.
Okay, they're wearing a light armor jack. Half would be
awesome.
6, so 21 damage. Okay, the first shot hits and kind of playing. The second shot hits, and you can actually see it kind of scrape off the top of the car door and like where the window opens, and you can see it kind of like slice through the cabin. But what you also notice is that the light armor jack and the left flank of this guy kind of pops quite heavily. You also roll double sixes, so I need you to roll 2 more d6 for
I'm good.
bonus damage.
6.
That's actually enough. So yeah, the pyro actually, like, you shoot him, it rips out his entire like rib cage. It goes through the cabin. It doesn't seem to hit anybody else, but his body kind of just like falls backwards and is kind of half in, half out of the truck, flopping. Roll D100. He doesn't seem to kind of stiffen up to a point where he's just letting flamethrower go all willy-nilly, unfortunately. Okay, that was Calvin. Icarus, you're up.
Cool. So I'm just kind of hanging on to the front of the truck right now, right?
That's right.
Okay. Okay, so I need to get probably back in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, if you spend your whole turn and your action is kind of doing it safely, you can get back to the bed without any issue.
Okay.
And also, if you want to, you can get ready your weapon as well.
Yeah, so he would get back to the bed of the truck and then kind of pull down his rifle and get ready.
Icarus done, Striker up. You are in the passenger side, so you're kind of now on the opposite side of your truck from the garbage truck.
Yeah, how possible would it be to I don't know, like, if the cab really has the shape for this, but can I like stick my body out the window and like sort of pop up over and try to take a shot at the you said there's a guy at a flamethrower, was it?
Flamethrower got blasted in half by the autocannon, but there does appear to be a guy who's just getting over being blinded in the passenger seat. You can take a shot at him. You're going to be firing from a loose platform, so go ahead and make a roll. I've applied a penalty. I'm not telling you what it is, so I'll adjust accordingly. But go ahead and take a shotgun shot. Never mind. Yeah, roll another d10, actually. Oh, no, sorry, no, it doesn't explode all the time. It just explodes once in new way. Yeah, that hits. Oh, shit.
And double sixes.
And double sixes in the dice, damage dice, yeah. He's wearing leathers, which means it subtracts 4 from the damage. So 16. That's enough to... Oh, double sixes. Roll 2 more d6.
2 more d6?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you kind of like, snap out, kind of put the shotgun over top and peek your head over, kind of like let the weight of the shotgun kind of sit on a nice platform on the top of the truck hood. You pull the trigger, shot goes into the shotgun round goes into the cabin, and you watch as the guy who's sitting there in the passenger seat, just his top portion just becomes covered with red. Seeing it through your optics, the Kuroshi optics give you everything in perfect detail. The shotgun round hit directly in his sternum, exploded his ribcage outwards, and basically eviscerated him and the seat behind him. So there's also, from what you can see in the gore, there's also apparently fluff from the cushion of the chair behind him.
Jeez.
Very dead.
Holy shit.
So now there's just the driver left?
From what you know, yeah, just the driver left. That's correct. Striga, this is the top of this initiative. What I need you to do before anything is make a perception roll.
Okay. Is that under...
It should be under awareness.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Awareness,
Awareness is perception, sorry.
15.
Oh, there is, okay. Out ahead of you, like I said, about 20 car lengths ahead, there's a regular, just run-of-the-mill schmuck car. But what you're seeing is that out in the dirt and in the sands, there appear to be 3 dust trails moving relatively quickly towards this highway, and it looks like they're going to kind of enter onto the highway from outside of the highway in like the next kind of few seconds. So during the next turn, these 3 random cars will just kind of pull out onto the highway. Whether or not they're here for you or not, you're not sure, but it does seem like they're kind of heading to kind of intercept.
Okay.
And this is only because of your vantage point on top of the car that you're able to see this.
Right. I don't. Can anybody have? Does anybody have like a clear line of sight to Striga?
I would say yes and no, but the thing is they can hear you because you didn't actually say you were doing the jamming transmitter thing.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're all hollowed up.
Right.
That's why the rates are coming.
Nice. So, which direction are the dust trails coming from?
North.
Okay, cool. I let everybody know that there's dust trails coming from the north. It looks like we've got company coming. And then Striga will use the rest of their turn to jump inside the cab and...
Are you jumping inside on the passenger side or the driver's side?
Passenger side.
There's a lot of object permanence there that's going to complicate that. If you'd like, you can use your action to start pulling dead bodies out and then move in.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. You reach down, you grab a hold of the pyro's like waistline and kind of pull his legs out and just let him drop. As he kind of hits the ground, you can kind of hear like a sickening pop and then explodes like 3 seconds after, or a few seconds after he hits the ground. And it's not like a explosion like like a real explosion. It's like a Hollywood explosion because it's very much a pyrokinetic kind of explosion. It's very fireball. It's less like actual detonation explosion. And then the remains of the body inside, you kind of reach down and grab a hold of the neck and just drag it. It kind of slinkies over the car door and then out. And then you kind of throw your feet down and in and sit in the passenger seat. You can see that the driver is kind of like rubbing his eyes and like kind of like has a look of pain on his face. And he kind of like blinks through wet eyes and is kind of looking at you. You'd also notice that there's a person in the back seat of the truck holding what looks like an old, like military radio. And he's like, hurry, oh, you're in the car. And he looks like he's maybe 16, 17 years old, this punk. But he looks like he's dressed like the other nerds.
Can I grab the radio?
Well, you already used your action, so technically no.
Fine. Can I threaten the driver?
Yeah, you can speak, but you're pretty sure he won't hear you due to the flashbang.
Okay,
you so politely threw in there. He's gonna hear "ma." That's all I can hear.
Yeah. Worth it.
You're in the passenger seat. The driver looks like he's incapacitated and is running on auto, and then there's a kid in the back who's screaming over the radio.
Okay. Cool.
For
and
help.
I say also over the link, ah, shit, they got a radio.
So over the hollow, you'd hear that. Sugar, you're up.
Okay, do I have anyone I can shoot?
There are no targets, but you're kind of maintaining a lock. You could try and shoot the driver through the windshield.
But we need someone alive.
So far as to say, the only person that you can see that's still alive that's in that truck, besides Striga, is the driver. You can't see the kid in the back.
Sorry, I would have mentioned the kid in the back as
well. There's a kid in the back. He's got a radio.
Right.
Got it. But you can't see him to shoot him.
Okay, but then if I hit the driver, then...
Who knows?
I'm going to be probably spending my next turn taking control of the truck. One way or the other.
Okay,
as long as that kid doesn't try to shoot me.
Oh, wait. Is there a chance I could hit Striga?
Not really much of one.
All right, let's try to shoot the driver.
Don't roll any dice.
Oh, no.
As you start kind of... because you're only allowed to shoot the cannon once per cycle, even though you have multiple actions to do it. It fires the 2 rounds, and you watch as they hit the windshield, and just... And there's no cracks on the windshield. For a second, there's kind of like a white staining across the windshield, but then after a fashion, you see it kind of just dissipate.
Cool.
You would know at that point that it's a reinforced transparent aluminum. windows, which are pretty expensive, to say the least. Outriders up. It's the driver. He
Can I
manages.
ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is that typical for a garbage truck?
No, not really. But these are newer trucks, and they do city, shit. So it's probable. And like I said, they cost 85,000 eddies. I mean, it's not a cheap one, so it probably has all the bells and whistles. It goes to the driver. He kind of blinks his eyes and kind of comes back to consciousness, and you see him kind of look at you. And do you say anything to him, Trigger?
Oh, I say, pull over now.
Like, fuck, I will. And you see him kind of like cross. You see him cross his arms. Well, we're still at initiative. He kind of crosses his arms, and you see his eyes kind of roll back into his head again as he seems to be accessing the machine link. All right, Calvin, you're up. Oh, and during that turn, you would also see that the garbage truck, not trying to ram you off the road or anything, but is automatically moving into the right side of the road because that's how a car is supposed to drive. I
mean, that's fine. I want to be in front of it.
That's fine. It's your turn. So, what would you like to do?
I'll just maintain. If anything, I'll slow down a bit more. Like, does the autopilot autocorrect for vehicles in its surrounding area?
It does seem to slow down a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll try and like control its pace.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're trying to slow down to make it slow down.
Yeah.
Ooh. Make a driving roll. Okay. You're aware enough at this point that it does seem that the driver in question does have control. So when you first try it, you know where the auto sensor is supposed to detect, and you realize it's not happening. So you'll kind of keep your distance and realize the plan's not going to work as well as you'd hoped. You're able to slow him down a little bit.
Now I'm aware that the driver's back in control.
Right. Icarus up.
Okay. So shooting at the windshield, not an option.
So what you would know is it's a very, very, very high armor windshield. It's kind of the stuff they use on AVs. It's pretty heavy duty shit. It's not smart glass, but it's still pretty heavy duty. And the autocannon didn't break it. So your rifle's probably not going to either.
And how close are the two vehicles?
Now relatively close. I'd say probably within 5 feet, and you're on the bed of the truck, and the front of the truck's right there.
And it's got that contraption on the front of it.
Yeah.
So feasibly, I could jump from the bed of the truck to that.
You could try.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Roll athletics.
Dumb boy. Yay!
You managed to land on the arm / kind of like dumpster collector, and are able to kind of get to the passenger side a bit from that jump. Or actually the driver's side a bit. You can see there's kind of like a foothold like right there near the door on the side. Yeah. That's where you're able to get with that jump.
Okay.
And that move. All right. Striker?
Okay. Do they have... Oh boy. They don't have great control of the situation, do they?
It seems like they've got something. Striga's in the cab, which is a plus. It looks like Icarus is on their way. And there's an autocannon that's pointed directly at them. It's shooting at the windshield, not doing much, but there's definitely open options. Like if it wants to move around, the truck needs to move, and then can put one right through the passenger window.
We want to keep this guy alive, don't we?
Yeah, we got the kid.
Ideally, but he's not cooperating.
And sorry, apologies. I did say it wrong. I just want to make sure that I reiterate. The windshield is completely kind of whited over. Does that make sense? Like, because it was hit by the round and it didn't crack the glass, but it caused
micro
Spiderweb,
fractures.
yeah,
all
like
that.
that microfragmentation. That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say, and I think I said it weird.
Okay. Is the side window broken?
Side windows are just down.
Oh, they're just down?
Yeah, it's just that your current position, you can't really get an angle into them, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Because you're right in front of it. And, sorry, Striga, over the hollow, you said something about the other cars, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know that there are other cars inbound.
Yes.
Great. Oh, great. Could I ask them to maybe try to open the door so we can grab the driver out of his seat?
Yeah, that's free.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask.
How about we just kill the driver and interrogate the kid?
What does the kid likely know?
He's the one with the radio.
Okay, that's more than a second or so's worth of dialogue. So after that, it goes to so for a second you kind of take a bend, David, and the barricade kind of gives way. It's not present on the northern side, and they're able to kind of zip onto the highway. The cars in question are very much similar to the ones of the people who last night did all of the ultra-violence. And it seems like they're kind of going in a flying V, kind of Mighty Ducks driving
Whack.
strategy. What you'll notice is very similar to how you would race. It looks like the driver is very focused on driving, and the passenger is very focused on having a big fucking gun and getting ready to use it. It looks like they move into position, and it looks like one of them is kind of out and open on your driver's side, but the other two are kind of using the garbage truck as cover. Striga.
God damn it. Striga's just gonna reach over, open the driver's side door, and kick the driver out.
Okay. He's wearing a seatbelt, so you kick him after opening the door, and he kind of just doesn't really move much.
Well, of course I get rid of the seatbelt, but okay.
Well, you didn't say you did.
No, that's fine. I didn't think about it. Anyways,
Striga's like action hero, and he's just kind of like pretty well mounted in there.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Sugar.
Okay.
Real quick question though. Isn't Icarus like in front of the door?
Yeah, actually, good point. Do me a favor and make me.
I don't know why I said that, but
You really want to fall off these cars?
not really.
Hold on a second here.
Is it a contortionist roll?
You're an honest player, Magpie. We love that.
Evasion.
Evasion.
It's in
Where is
fighting.
this? Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Baby died.
Striga, you kicked the door open, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and your body is a 12?
Yes.
Okay, so that's greater than Icarus's evasion roll. Yeah, I hate to do this to you, but yeah, your friend just kicked you off of the side of that truck. So hitting the ground.
What the fuck?
Let's see.
What the hell?
Roll D100. Icarus. Okay. Okay. Oh, Okay. All right. First things first. 3d6 for hitting the ground. Okay. So take 8 points of damage. Your armor will deal with this. And due to the fact that you do not roll under a fourth, again, keep in mind, this is moving by very fast, 70 miles per hour. You're hitting the ground, you're kind of hitting it with your armor and kind of rolling, right? But as you do so, a wraith car rolls right over you.
No.
This is not ablated by your armor. It goes through it. It doesn't matter. It's crushing damage. Take 37 points of hit point damage as you're run over by the wraith car. And then roll me another d100. So your body hitting the tire causes the axle of the front actuator of the vehicle to like slip to the left because you're hit by the leftmost tire, and then that car slides to the left and slams into the barrier and starts
take one out with me.
Starts skidding, stopping a good 100 or so feet away from where you're at. So I'm going to put this kind of here and this kind of here for now. And yeah, you are lying on the ground, obviously.
Boy.
Okay. So that was Striga, then Sugar. You're up. The car you were probably about to aim on, Sugar, you see it kind of smash over Icarus and kind of slam into the barrier and then kind of slowly stop, smoke kind of rising out of the front of the vehicle. Icarus, to you, you see oh, sorry, hold on. Yeah, 2 6s.
Oh, no. Oh, come on.
That is exactly the number of hit points I have left.
You're not dead, though. Don't worry. You're just in death saving throw town. Hold on a second here. Broken rib. No,
I would think so.
I always know broken rib is the only place it really appears in this book is this chart, so I just use it. Actually, it broke your leg. So your leg is broken. Your move is -4 until you get your leg fixed.
And I'm moving.
And you're also at 0 hit points. Hold on.
So my armor 8, right?
It would have been ablated once, but your armor's fine. It didn't do anything for the fact that a car was running you over.
No, but the hit before that.
Oh, it would have hit for... Your armor would have ignored it. You wouldn't have taken any of it.
Okay.
So you should have taken 37 plus 8, so 45 total.
Okay, that is exactly my hit point. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, I don't see anything about crushing damage going straight through. I'm going to treat it as melee damage. It'll treat your armor as half. So, to be fair, that seems like the fairest thing I can do. So your armor is 11 right now. So full armor, Jack?
Yeah.
So it's going to count as 6 for the crushing. So you're actually going to be at, 30, 45. You'll be at 6 hit points remaining. But you are critically injured.
Yeah.
And you have a broken leg.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, good note. The bonus damage. Cool. Oh, okay. All critical injuries cause horrible injury and deal 5 bonus damage. The 2d6 is not what's used for the extra damage. We just do that because it's more fun. We're going to keep doing that. It's fun. I like fun.
Okay, I added a critical injury, broken leg, and it tells me to select a type. Simple, everyday, difficult, professional, heroic, incredible, or legendary. What does that mean?
For the critical injury?
Yeah.
I don't know. No idea. Don't worry about that. The injury at that question is broken leg. Your speed, or your movement rather, is reduced by 4. Minimum 1. Page 187 for information on that. Okay, cool. Next up is Sugar. Like I was saying, the autocannon still has a bead on the one that got knocked over to the side. You can take a shot at the vehicle. You cannot take a shot at that one. or that one. It's just that one over there. Yeah.
Does it look?
It doesn't look like it's moving, but you can put a shot downrange and try and like hit where the driver would be or where the passenger would be.
Okay, let's try to do that.
Okay, passenger or driver?
Driver.
Okay, go ahead and make 2 interface rolls.
Can I just use this thing that I like cobbled together? Do you mind?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay. So it'll be 2 attacks. Neither. Okay, so what's the distance?
Well, why are you making an archery roll?
It's the same value as my interface.
Okay.
I had to rig it.
The autocannon does way more than 5d6 damage.
That's how much you told us.
7d6 is what we have on the Militech 20L I-37 autocannon. Calvin rolled the damage last time. I never said roll a value for the damage. I just told David. He's muted right now.
Okay. I got it handy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you need me to roll damage, I got it right here.
No worries. The first attack misses. The second attack misses. You are... Yeah. The other thing that's bad about this is you're making an archery roll, so it's rolling
30
with the range modifiers for that, I think.
Well, no, it's just 7. It's 7. It's exactly 7. 6 plus 1 is 7.
Got it.
So the
I see.
The value is correct.
I see. Okay. Cool. No, because okay, what I'm saying is like. Never mind.
The range table is different.
No, it's the same. It's the same.
It's the same.
Okay.
That's cool.
So they're about 100 yards out. I'm going to say just over 100. So the DV value would be. It doesn't matter. Neither of those would have hit.
Okay.
So yeah, and nothing. All right. It goes to the Outriders. As you're kind of laying there, Icarus, you would see that a individual pops out of the passenger side, kind of drops onto the ground. Kind of pale white, blonde-headed guy. Looks like his entire lower jaw has been replaced with cybernetics. As he kind of drops down onto the ground and is kind of like crawling away from the vehicle, you can see that he's spitting up a combination of what appears to be blood and oil out of his mouth onto the asphalt. Nobody else gets out of the vehicle. It's just him. Calvin, you're up.
All right, then I'm gonna slow my truck down to a position to where the autocannon will have line of sight on the middle truck, but not the third truck. That way, we have
hold on.
one-on-one.
Let me make sure we got. So this is off board. This is off board, and this is off board. These guys are still hiding out behind, and they're holding pace, kind of keeping a good distance, like from the garbage truck. They're not trying to pop out yet.
Yeah, so basically I want to be somewhere around here so that the autocannon will have line of sight from... How do you draw the arrow? Well, basically
the ruler.
I just want to have the autocannon have line of sight on the middle truck, but not have line of sight on the second truck, so that way we're not getting targeted by both trucks at the same time.
Real quick, those aren't trucks, they're cars. The ones in the back. Sorry. So you're saying truck, and I keep on thinking like...
Sorry.
So you're trying to get an idea to get a bead on the first car, not the second car. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pulling over full onto the oncoming traffic potential. Okay. Cool. Calvin done. Icarus up.
All right. So.
So you're about equidistant from them as Sugar was when they pulled away. So you're about 100 yards away from this guy.
Okay. And what's my weapon situation?
Your gun's still on you.
Okay. All right. So honestly, he's just gonna pull rifle and fire at this guy.
Take a shot.
Yeah, well, I just got hit by a car, okay?
That's fair. The weapon kind of like, shoots, but like in your arm and in your kind of just wounded, just whole body, it just feels like agony pulling the trigger, and you kind of feel yourself lifting up as it's happening, and then your body spasms where it just shoots up into the air. You kind of realize that, again, we moved you off the map there, but you were out in the road. You do realize that you are still laying out in the middle of the road, and if there is going to be oncoming traffic, it would come. So you just kind of crawl, like, very pathetically to the side of the road. Icarus done, Striker up.
How's it look to me that how does Striga seem to be looking in the car?
So what you saw is Striga kick the door open, which launched Icarus off of the side of the vehicle and sent Icarus off into the beyond. Striga appears to be wrestling with the driver, but the driver in his last turn didn't do anything. Neither did the kid. They are just very focused on cowering for one of them and driving the vehicle for the other.
Okay. Fuck.
And the truck did move a bit more to the side. Like, I'm trying to show that. So you do have a bit more of an angle from the passenger side to the driver's side door, but the door opens towards you and is kind of jaunting against the wind, having been kicked open. So it's kind of in between you and the driver if you were going to shoot him.
Have these cars behind us been shooting, or are they just chasing?
They haven't shot yet.
But it took one out. You're welcome.
You did take one out. You did.
You're welcome.
You used your body. It was a pretty smart move.
Icarus known for flying close to the sun.
Icarus fall off the garbage truck. Could I use my new grapple hand and try to get on the garbage truck?
Yeah. So firing the grapple hand allows you to shoot, what, 8 meters?
Oh, we love grapple. We love grapple in this house.
Let's see. 30 meters.
Okay. So where are you shooting the hand? What are you aiming for?
Ooh, maybe like the on sort of the arm things that raise up the garbage.
Right where Icarus got knocked off? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Well, because I'm thinking that's a good place I can just
sure. It worked for Icarus. You'll know better not to get kicked. Well, hopefully Striga will know better not to kick their allies off of the side of the truck. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and just make a handgun roll. This is more for flavor than anything else.
Ranged weapon.
Is it literally called the handgun?
Handgun skill, yeah. The skill's called a handgun. You shoot your hand out from the passenger side. It connects. As you're doing so, you kind of, you open the door a little bit, shoot your hand out because you don't want to zip yourself out the window, and then you kind of step out onto the loading bar and then kind of jump out as the hand is recoiling. With the weight of you falling and the weight of it pulling, you kind of have this one moment of dip where you feel like you're going to hit ground, but you immediately snap to it and kind of catch onto the side of the truck. You're literally in the same exact position that Icarus was in. The car door is open though, so you can kind of hold on to that and also where your hand connected.
Is there anything else that I can do, or is that all I can do?
Your action with the grapple hand and the movement was kind of included in that. You can kind of wobble. If you want to push the door closed, then wobble around it so that during the next turn you can open the door and reach in and grab the driver. That's fine.
Okay.
Striga, you are in the passenger seat. You just kicked the driver. He's still wearing a seatbelt. It looks like he is sternly kind of driving the vehicle with his brain. What would you like to do, Chad? Since killing him is the thing that it sounds like you want to do.
Striga pulls out one of their guns and shoots him in the leg.
Okay. Go ahead and make a submachine gun attack roll. I think auto fire, so you're just...
Where is that?
Heavy SMG ×2. It's under weapons.
Yeah, I'm trying to navigate the. Went too far. There we go. Heavy SMG.
Yeah. Okay. You place it right on their thigh. You push and just you hit by more than enough. The SMG that you have can do a 4 times multiplier, so that 8 that you rolled is going to be multiplied by 4, which means you shoot through his leg, just and his leg just splinters off in like meat and bone, and you can see his eyes like rolled into the back of his head. You then watch his mouth go, oh, as he's connected to the machine. His like entire pain sensor override just flushes with him being segmented from his body. You're pretty sure you killed him.
Oh, damn.
Jesus Christ. Can I attempt to take control of the vehicle?
So your action was shooting his leg out, but you're kind of moving the SMG and reaching with your other hand to grab a hold of the steering wheel. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. For flavor's sake, what I'll tell you is the second you grab it, have you ever driven a car without power steering?
Yes.
You know how it's really hard to kind of move the steering wheel?
Oh yeah.
Nope.
That's where you're at right now. So you kind of grab a hold of it and you think you're going to easily kind of maneuver it to the side or whatever. It doesn't work. Okay. Striga done. Sugar, you're up.
Okay.
With the autocannon, you have a pretty good beat on this one, but the one behind it, not so much.
Okay. So we'll get the closest one. I changed the weapon type and modified it so that it won't look as fucked up. And we'll do 1.
Okay, that'll miss.
2.
That will, like I said, well, these ones are a bit closer.
Is that an 18?
Quite a bit closer. They are, why is it saying feet? 7 squares, 7 times 2 is 14. 14 meters, that would be a 15 that you needed. So that that'll work. And when you're shooting at the vehicle, were you just shooting at the vehicle?
Let's say shooting towards like the engine to like blow it up.
Okay, perfect. So you smash the first round against the hood, and it kind of leaves this large scratch across it. And then the second one, you see it penetrate. Solid hit. You don't know what damage you did to the engine block, if any, but it definitely went through the hood and into the block. Okay, it goes to them. You see the vehicle start to kind of like move out and start gaining speed. As the front one's doing so, the hole that you put in the hood starts to kind of let out a soft white smoke, and then it starts to move forward.
I just got control of the vehicle.
What vehicle?
The dump truck.
Oh yeah, no, the wraith cars are coming up. Okay, so the passengers in question, you see them kind of pop out the sides. They appear to be wielding assault rifles. Take some shots. Looks like for this cavalcade of pew pew, I am going to be shooting. I'm actually going to shoot the shit out of the autocannon.
Hey, what does the autocannon do to anybody?
Both hit. You watch as they're shooting the autocannon and hitting it. Both shots were being made at a -8 to try and hit the where the chamber rounds connect with the autocannon. Basically the cartridge casing that drops down into the box. The first guy misses that specific. The second guy hits it and does enough damage to kind of cause it to jam out. That said, with the autocannon, you would see your ammunition count go from a box of 50 down to 3.
Oh, man, there's a huge difference.
There's a 3. Basically, they severed the line, so there's 3 rounds left on the belt. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I is that refeedable?
You'd have to get in there with some tools. Striker would probably be the only one who could fix it, like here, because he could use his he could jury rig it. But yeah, no, I don't know if he wants to jump out where there's gunfire though.
Yeah.
Especially since he's inside of the truck. Oh, he's outside of the truck. They don't even see him. They didn't even see him. They're not focused too much on that. But the other car that's behind, you would see that there appears to be a guy in the passenger seat who's dropped a chain out and seems to be kind of whopping a chain out of the passenger window. Calvin, this is a pretty common Wraith technique. On the end of the chain is like an old style stick grenade. And so they're going to try and whip it into your bed of your truck and let it explode. That's it for the Outriders. Oh, wait, no, it's not. One more. The guy who's kind of broken staring down Icarus. You see him kind of pull out a heavy pistol and raise it up. He's a pretty good distance away, like 100 meters, like I said. He's going to take a shot.
We're both just like half dead trying to shoot each other.
I love it. It's so Western.
This is amazing.
Like,
It is
no!
a Western. It is a Western.
Calvin, you are up.
I remember that Western where Clint Eastwood got run over by a car and then that car crashed and they yeah, of
It's
course.
They had a
modern
standoff
Western, you know,
on
it's
the
like,
side of the
you know,
road.
like how 8 Samurai got turned into a Western.
Yeah.
It's that in reverse.
Seven Samurai.
Yeah. I'm cultured. I'm not a swine.
Fair.
Well, shit. So with the
Although technically it was only 6 because the 7th Samurai wasn't technically really whatever.
nerd,
Kurosawa's my shit, dude.
yeah, it's lit. It was lit.
He's the
He
best.
makes mad films.
Yeah. Oh, that's also true.
Since I have people in the back.
Yeah, you don't have
myself.
You don't have people in the bed of the truck anymore. There's nobody in the bed of the truck.
No?
The only person in the truck with you right now is Sugar.
I'm a hard break and fuck up the car that's right behind me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a real question, Shijo, and I need you to answer me honestly. Would Sugar wear a seatbelt?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Fuck no.
God damn it.
Y'all get kill all the babies!
Sugar's gonna fly out the front of that motherfucking windshield, honey.
Sugar, make an evasion roll.
No.
Do better than me. Remember, there's luck.
I'll at the very least, it won't help Sugar at all.
Calvin,
But-
you're hard braking, right? To kind of
Yeah.
cause them to
Oh,
ram
I
into
am-
the truck.
I am aiming for one side of the car.
Okay, you're trying to kind of bonk it.
Spin it out.
So it has to spin out. It will not function.
Make a driving roll for that. But while that's happening, Sugar, make a
I'm spending luck.
okay.
If I
Shit.
can find it. Okay, I'm gonna spend 2 luck.
That's still an 11, David.
Okay, so that's 2 luck, and then I'm going to roll an evasion. That's what, fighting,
so they're fighting.
combat. Plus 2 is 19.
Okay, so you not wearing a seatbelt, kind of tethered into the tablet, don't really see it coming, aren't really paying attention. You got like the energy drink in your hand, and you kind of get shunted forward and like slam into the chair in front of you, and kind of spiral into the front seat, a bit, kind of half in between both. But you feel like if you hadn't kind of like stopped and placed your feet when it happened and like kind of like shook in place, you probably would have rolled out the other side and might have flown out the passenger side door, which is still kind of open. So very crazy maneuver, and here's why that is actually realistic. As you're backing up, you see the car behind you very quickly shift to the side, and you see sparks flying off the barrier and its vehicle like it sees you coming. The white smoke in the center of it starts turning black, and as you kind of try and hit it in that spot, it is able to get far enough to the left that it's able to get around the back end of your car or your truck and hit your tire, which causes you to spiral.
God damn it! It did what I was trying to do to
Which
it.
causes you to spiral. The problem here is the guy behind them was not aware of this intimate driving nature. It hits the back of the other guy's truck, which then in turn hits your truck right in the driver's side.
Some crazy ass shit.
You wanted Fast and Furious. I'm giving you what you wanted.
Yeah. I was trying.
The truck's side door buckles inwards.
Bro!
Calvin, you feel it hit your side. You take, after reductions from the armor plating, 17 points of damage. Your armor jack will reduce that.
All right. I still have never set up my subdermal armor, but it's the same number, I think.
11, yeah. So you're going to take 6 points of real damage. And it's not going to do a wound on you because it did it on the car.
So, real question.
Yeah.
Is this the part where we find out where Striga's actually a cop?
That would be rip. Oh, wait.
So,
real quick. Is left side or right side maximum HP?
the left side of the truck just got its armor fucked. What are you saying? As far as my reduce the left.
Okay.
But yeah, Sugar, you're conscious, but the vehicle stops, and there's a second kind of like burst and shake, but you're not too terribly wounded by it. You're the only one who actually scopes out what's happening, looking at the tablet through your virtuality, and also just visually seeing it. The first Wraith vehicle hit the tires, and then kind of side slipped back as your truck started to spiral, but the other car rammed into the back of the other Wraith car, causing it to slam into the driver's side of your car, hurting Calvin a little bit. And then as it hit the back, you saw that it had enough power and momentum, even with that jaunt, that the second car flew over the first car, over your truck, and landed a good 20 feet away from your vehicle, smashing onto the concrete upside down. The garbage truck continues on without anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, your truck is stopped. It's not dead, but it is facing the barricade. Calvin, Dunn, Icarus, you're up 100 meters away from the guy. Assault rifle. You pulled off to the side of the road.
And a shoot.
Okay. All right.
Wait, is it just like Striga and Stryker on the garbage truck?
Correct. Assault rifle shot hits, and 24 damage is enough to kill him in his wounded state. You shoot as he's kind of got the handgun up, and you shoot, and you hit him in the shoulder, and it's like a nice, loud kind of red pop that you can see from a distance. You see his arm kind of drop in a very unnatural fashion, and his body flops onto the concrete.
My body also flops onto the concrete.
As you start just breathing in the sand and the fresh air out here.
Yeah.
There's definitely an acrid scent to the entire place. You know, back a couple days ago, there was acid rain notations. So, Icarus, Dunn, Stryker, you are up. You're on the side of the car. The passenger or the driver's side door is closed. You can see that the driver is dead.
But Striga has control.
Striga has a hand on the wheel.
Okay. Is this car like right up next to the truck, or is it?
Oh no, sorry. Everything that's not the garbage truck is way behind you. From your position on the side of the truck, this is what you saw. You saw the truck turn like in fishtail, right? Then you saw it kind of like bounce like this way, like it was coming towards you, about ready to flip over. And then you saw another car fly over the truck, spinning in the air and kind of landing upside down. And then explosion. No, there are no explosions.
Can I?
Just a bunch of dust.
Hell yeah.
Can I get the door opened up and just like grab this guy's body and just pull it out and like, get up into the seat?
You pull him out. There's kind of a sickening kind of sound as the interface plugs that were connected to the machine link pull out of his head, and you kind of flop him off to the side. I need you both inside of the vehicle at this point to make an evasion roll.
Evasion. Where's that?
It's in fighting.
Fighting.
Oh, buddy, this is amazing. Alrighty.
Nice.
Okay, Striga, you kind of like feel the vehicle start to like move underneath your grasp, and you're able to kind of.
I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, it's not you. Why did you roll an evasion roll, Calvin?
I thought you were talking about inside the truck.
No, inside the garbage truck. Sorry.
Garbage truck. Sorry.
It's under fighting. It's under fighting, Chad.
Well, I've got awareness, body.
I didn't realize Stryker got out. He grapple hooked the fork. I forgot.
Under fighting. I
On
don't
the
see that on my.
Next, so you got the tabs at the top: awareness, body, control, education, then fighting. If you click fighting, it should change the options for skills.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
There it is. Sorry.
No worries. You're new. You're new. It's fine.
Evasion.
Yeah.
Okay, so Striga, as you kind of grab a hold of the wheel and shit starts kind of going weird, you see Stryker pop open the door, grab a hold of the driver, and thrust him out. As he's doing so, you watch as the interface plugs pop out, and it's kind of something you probably knew, like in the back of your head, but now realize.
Right.
The power seems to kind of hit back to the steering wheel, and the vehicle starts to go wild. You're able to keep your hand on the steering wheel to keep it going straight, but you know this is not driving that you're doing, and that during the next turn it's going to be a bit more complicated. However, Stryker is so precise in his evasion that as the car door opens and he's throwing the body, he's actually throwing his right foot up, keeping his left foot on the floor plate, or the foot plate, and throwing it into the vehicle, and then just very casually like moving into the driver's seat and shutting the door. That evasion roll was baller, and
Fuck yes.
you are now
Really good today.
Striga is more that perfect because now Striga can deal with the child in the backseat.
perfect. So everybody on the road that's not Calvin and Sugar and Icarus is dead. That was a very massive collision for the smaller vehicles. The truck was able to deal with it a bit more because of the armor plating, which is going to need some repairs, by the way, Calvin. Striga, you kind of relinquish the wheel to Stryker. Stryker, you can go ahead and make a driving roll to just get control of the vehicle.
Righty.
DV is going to be an 8. You got it. And you're able to kind of get control of the vehicle and kind of move it towards... this is all happening... just so you have an idea of the time scale that we just spent. The hit went down right about here. You got attacked by the Wraith right about there. And you are right about there once you finally got control of the truck. So this gas station up ahead, you're able to kind of pull into the parking lot, turn around, and then just start heading back the same way you came. Go pick up the remnants. And
that's the way to talk about Icarus.
Right?
Calvin, the vehicle is pretty damaged, but it is still drivable. It still works. It's just the left side is kind of so cramped in on you, you're kind of like, it's not comfortable to sit in right now.
I mean, Calvin is mostly just disappointed that he this had to happen, but
sure,
he can make do with what he's got to make do.
At that same time, like, Sugar is so fucking impressed. Like, she's been in all kinds of shootouts and, like, dire situations, but she has never crazy taxied her way through the desert. Like, seeing cars flip, like, with the driver, like, avoiding certain death. She's like, Calvin! That was fucking incredible, you fucking insane gonk!
And then you hear, ow!
Poor Icarus. Oh man, I felt bad that we kept going, but I was like, we gotta keep going.
You gotta!
They ran over your whole ass leg. Okay, so you head back. I assume Calvin picks up Icarus, and then
yes,
Sugar,
like a baby.
Sorry, Stryker and Striga. You have the kid in the back seat. He's basically not saying anything.
He's probably pissed his pants.
First things first, Striga takes that radio away from him.
Yeah.
And then, like, does a quick look around for any weapons that he might have or might be stashed back there.
Doesn't have anything. You do note that in the front seat there is an old style over-under Derringer, like not Derringer, over and under shotgun. My brain did a dumb, and it looks pretty like antique, like pretty very like really cool looking and old. You'd also note that there is an armband on the kid. It's 6th Street. You've got the truck. You're not able to really do much with it, but do you want to say anything to the kid on your way?
Strigo would ask the kid, tell us everything you know about the Black Lace.
I ain't saying shit. Fuck you. Piece of
Did
shit.
you see what I did to the driver?
Yeah, whatever. Fucking do it then, bitch. You see him say, and he's just like, you can see that he...
This kid look.
16, 17.
Oh, he's not a kid.
Nope.
He's...
Slap him, open hand.
16, 17.
Magpie!
That is a kid.
What?
So, Chris, you're right. He's old enough to know better.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I said open hand.
So while I'm driving, I'm
So
gonna
here's
just...
the thing.
Hold on. Was
I
that Chris? Wait,
personally-
hold on. Chris, what were you going to say?
While I'm driving, I'm gonna like just extend the wolvers on my arm.
Okay. He does seem to notice the blades and kind of like them popping out is something that he catches off guard. Striga, what were you going to do after that?
I was gonna point the SMG that still has the driver's blood on it at him.
And he is visibly like scared, but he still doesn't say anything, and he does continue to kind of like put up a front.
Listen, kid. This is only gonna get worse before it gets better if you don't start telling us what
I
we
don't
want.
fucking care, dude. It's not how you come up on the streets, piece of shit. And you can see he's like starting to cry during this, and you can realize that his dedication to the 6th Street gang is apparently high enough. He's not going to talk, you know.
Right. We've got other things to worry about, and right now it doesn't seem like this kid's gonna do anything.
Yeah.
I turn to Striga and I'm just like, listen, let's just get off this road, take this truck out of here. We'll take care of the kid later. And I'll like pull out a roll of duct tape and hand it to them and be like, just like bind his wrists and ankles or something so he can't run out of here.
Striga, you're able to
Striga-
get in there and just get him tied up as much or as little as you want, but the point is absolutely satisfactory to keep him kind of quiet and bound. Icarus is picked up by Calvin and Sugar, and the parts of Icarus that weren't left on the highway are heading to the Sunset Hotel to pick up Zigzag. Is that right?
I mean, maybe we should go to the hospital.
No, I think
Absolutely
Zigzag would
not.
rather get
No.
himself back to the office. I don't want anyone connecting him back to the hotel, back to the truck,
So-
back to the
Oh,
office.
fuck Icarus.
You're
We
able.
still have a medic on.
Fine. I have 6 hit points. It's okay.
Well, Zigzag,
on call, don't we?
you're able to get Salt to come out and pick you up if that's needed. The job sounds like it's complete based on hollow traffic, so you already put the call in.
Yeah.
You would actually be being picked up by Salt as you watch Calvin's truck drive past into Night City. The garbage truck is not visible yet, but you know it's on its way. Striker, you're heading back in this way, or do you want to try and detour and go some other way around?
Well, and the funny part is, since we're driving by and the side of the road that the hotel's on, I don't think he would see the driver's side door.
Right. No, yeah, he wouldn't.
He's like, oh, that one will.
No damage at all. But,
I would
gonna-
say
sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Turn around, like sort of take a wide way around so we don't like
Okay.
pass too much traffic, so we're not like
It's
connected to all that chaos back there. But then once we drive a distance, just to get back on the road and go back through in town.
it's a
towards
bit
town.
it's a bit of an issue where you're at, in that there are really only 2 ways into Night City from here. One is heading back the way you came, which if you want to say there's problems with that, you can, but you know, take that road as you will. Or you can take the 19 out for about an hour's drive, then whip around northbound for about 45 minutes, up until you get to I think it's State Road 30 something, and that heads on over to the 101. And then it's another hour and a half back from the north into the north side of Night City. The very long way around. Like, the better part of the rest of your day is going to be driving this garbage truck.
I would say one or two things, at least for Icarus, is like if we don't have a medic on call, Calvin would at least take Icarus to the hospital.
Okay.
I mean, Odette is still on call for
Yeah.
us, right?
That's
She's
what I was
still
saying.
here.
It's like I'm sure Odette is available to us.
You've got Odette,
still.
you've got Tark, and I believe there's another third one that was in the early like murder sorties.
Real life talk, he is in serious risk of going into shock.
Yeah.
Like.
So the sooner the better.
Like Calvin.
Unless somebody's
Calvin
got
would know who we
meds
have
to
available
shove
at
in 'em.
Zigzag's place, and like if there was no one available there, he would take Icarus to where they need to be, so that.
Okay. So I would say that the closest one to you, if you're going into town from the same route you came in, would be Tark. Tark is pretty close to that side of Night City. As far as the broken leg,
Don't let him take any of your organs.
Yeah, Tark. Calvin doesn't know Tark, so he doesn't know to worry about this. But
Sugar will shout as they're helping him into the clinic.
in a very Dan Youngian kind of way, he would ask, "Are you okay with invasive?" Or
who's he asking?
Your leg's broken. Do you mind if I cut your leg open to fix the bone and set it with stents, or do you want me to just kind of put an external, device like a, cast on your leg?
I mean, do what you gotta do, I guess. Boy, don't know any better.
Aww.
Okay, you see him pull out the surgery tools and start going to work on your leg, cutting you open and going in towards the bone, and then basically putting your bone back together. Roll a d10.
Icarus is like,
Does
I
it
need
feel
an
like what
adult.
organ he steals? Yeah, he definitely does need an adult.
No, it's when NPC rolls for a check that requires a difficulty value. I have the player roll the dice, and then I add the modifier. So it's a good 3 hours that you're in with Tark at his clinic. He puts your leg back together. He says to you, it's going to take you about 3 days worth of time to like stay off of it. I wouldn't go jumping around or anything crazy. Like,
no hood surfing. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is that how you got this? Hilarious. He says, he says, here, and he hands you a bottle. It sounds like it's only got like 6 or 7 pills in it. And he says, take one when it really fucking hurts. And if you want to just eat them all, that's fine too. But I would say just be sparing. And then he's like, all right, cool. Tell Zigzag to send me the bill. Or I'll send Zigzag the bill.
Tell Zigzag to send me the bill for all this work I did.
I'll send him the bill. That's what I meant.
You owe me
How much do I owe you for that pleasure of cutting into your leg?
Get off on that.
I know that you're a asset, so that's what he would say. He would literally refer to you as an asset. He wouldn't even refer to you as a person. Tark's a piece of shit. Anywho, Shrieker, are you going the long route or are you going straight back?
Oh boy. Striga, what do you think is better? Should we get back with them? Quicker or slower?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You have 2 options. You can go right back the way you came, or you can take a long way around to get to the north side of Night City and then enter through the 101 on the north side of Night City. It'll take about 5 hours to do that. Or you can just drive right back home.
Long way.
No, I'm not sure if we've got the resources for that. And what are we gonna do? Just drive this thing till it runs out of gas?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna like make a little big 3-point turn and go back the other way.
Okay. Yeah, if you were to look at the gas gauge, it's pretty close to full. Like it just seems to have left out. But yeah, you head past the Sunset Hotel. Don't really notice anything there. And you wouldn't see Zigzag there. And you drive the truck where?
Do we have somewhere to stash it?
Do we?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can I call Zigzag just while we're driving? Be like,
yeah.
Hey Zigzag, do we have anywhere to put this truck? We got a kid.
Were you not able to get any information from the child about where the truck was going?
I think it might be more efficient to get the kid out of the truck first.
Okay. Do we need to keep the kid, or are we planning?
If you're asking if I'm about to fucking murder a kid, the answer is no.
I figured that would be a big ask for you. There's a grudge. The location is on your agent.
I'm gonna head to the location.
I figured that would be a big ask for you.
I had a feeling you might not want to murder a child.
What I'm setting up here is we've got a good cop, and then right next to him, we've got a bad cop.
But who's who?
Who's who?
The one that just said he wouldn't kill him.
So he was like, oh yeah.
It depends. It depends. That perspective
I won't kill you, but I'll make you wish you were dead.
I'm
Zigzag,
you,
are you
perspective changes who's good cop and who's bad cop.
Are you meeting them out of the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get there, the garbage truck, you would have some questions probably regarding it and also regarding the kid. Obviously, there's a lot of information to be gleaned from both. But Stryker, I presume, kind of reaches into the back and carefully grabs the prisoner, brings him out into the garage and kind of sets him down on the concrete. And Sugar kind of steps out. I'm assuming Chad trying to be as intimidating as possible for the kid. Just sounds like the vibe. And Zigzag, you kind of step out. You know, it's dark in here. There's just like one light kind of like somewhere in here. You know, you've left Icarus back at home. Did you bring Sugar with you, or Calvin? Well, you definitely brought Calvin. He drove you out here. But Sugar, did you bring her?
I imagine so, just in case she can find any information on the net about the kid.
Then Icarus is probably in the back seat of the truck. Calvin, you were able to kind of bang out the door a little bit, but the armor plating is gone on that side of the vehicle. You'll need to get that repaired.
Yeah. I mean, completely understandable.
But you probably flew here on AV.
Yeah,
I imagine we flew.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm in the back?
You're inside the AV, kind of sitting casually.
Unless you want to stay at the office, that's up to you.
I don't know. I can watch cartoons on my little doodad, right?
That's perfectly okay.
On the agent.
Okay. Yeah, he's high as a kite watching cartoons.
As you kind of get out and kind of look to the kid and, you know, the duct tape and everything, and look towards the truck, there's definitely a lot of questions here, and we'll start working through those questions at the beginning of next session. Thanks for watching those that did, and we'll see you next Tuesday as we interrogate a 17-year-old who is a member of
other fun adventures.
Fast and Furious 8. Fast 8 Furious.
Thanks for watching. See you then.